Hey folks, so as you may or may not know, I've been on vacation for all of last week. And while I was gone, unfortunately, we had some major breakdowns of some important components. And everything we were recording got really screwed up. And unfortunately, all the backups were also messed up. This has actually never happened before, so we're really sorry. The video has a stutter in it. We can't get rid of it. We're going to try to do stuff, but unfortunately, the version that's going up tonight is going to have a video, like it's going to stutter every few seconds. Sorry about that. But this shouldn't happen again, maybe? I don't know. That Hyperdeck, it's giving us problems. I'm going to have to call the manufacturer. That's fun. See you guys later. And once again, sorry.
Think of that title, and then I googled it. I think it was like a Vice special.
We were promised
hoverboards. Yeah,
it's a good name.
It's a great name.
Really good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to your Game Over Greggy show pre-show on patreon.com/kindafunny. We appreciate your support. I'm not going to give you, well, I guess I have to this time. It's Greg, it's Tim, it's Nick. I'll give the real intros later. This is Poe. This is the fabled Poe. Save your applause for later. I don't want to.
We'll do it again.
You got to save it for the real show and act excited there.
Okay.
Here's what we need to talk about. Number one,
me not living up to expectations.
No, that you're gonna crush that. Don't worry about that. But number one, cool, Greg. Before we went live, you asked me what was I sipping on. I need to make sure there are other adults in the room. Poe said this is okay already, but I don't trust him. The CO2 is still broken on the kegerators. However, I just poured a beer off the kegerators. I won't get CO2 poisoning, right? Like I'm okay.
I'm probably there's no CO2 coming through.
Correct. Yeah.
So why would you get CO2 poisoning?
Well, I don't know. Well, who knows?
You're just gonna have flat beer.
It's just it's not flat. It's not as bubbly as it should be, cool, Greg, but it works. It's getting the job done.
Yeah,
cool,
I mean, I've had plenty of flat soda before where the CO2 is just like broken or out, and I just drink it. It's just not as good.
Sure.
It doesn't taste as good.
The only concern I would have is like where that leak is going. You know, it's not going into there, but like if it's just filling up a room or something like that. But
I don't know anything about all this. I do know that I don't like seeing Kevin play with all that stuff because it seems like it could blow up.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
But
it will.
Again, if that goes right, it kills two birds with one stone. If not, the kegerator
and Kevin. The problem is, of course, it was fine until that one guy tinkered with it.
Yeah.
Then they came out and thought they fixed it. They didn't fix it.
They didn't.
Then I was like, Kevin, please fix this. And I understand Kevin has bigger fish to fry. None of this is me insulting Kevin, for the record. And I really was like, I'm going to London for 2 weeks. It'll be fixed. Came back and hadn't even been touched.
No, why wouldn't be?
So then it was Kevin's going to Maui. He's going to call and book the appointment with the guys we think that broke it, but just come out and fucking fix it. Just do what you got to do.
Well, you have to give Kev like
the guys
2 weeks of trying to fix it himself.
Kevin called those guys and then was like, they're going to come Friday. I need you to call them with the credit card number. In the car with you and Joey, I called them. And I was on hold for 10 minutes. And then I got out and I got in an elevator. I hung up. Got upstairs, called them. They were already closed. Never paid them. They never came by Friday. No one never heard anything from Kevin. So I don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I mean?
It is not top priority, I can tell you that.
We have other things. Now, here's the top priority. There is some fucking bullshit going on right now. Okay. All right? Yeah. And it is happening on Instagram.com.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
GameOverGreggy. You don't.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Are you referring to the fact that the star comes before the N in NSYNC?
That's a big deal.
Via my Twitter. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can see what I'm talking about.
An injustice.
It'll blow your mind.
Right now.
The problem we have, of course, is twofold.
Yeah.
One of them, old news. Somehow Tim Gettys got verified on Instagram before me.
Wow.
He's the king of the world.
Instagram got verified.
Tim, do you want to do Titanic with me? You want to do Titanic with me?
Let's do it. Who's the king of this?
That's what Kate Winslet. Kate Winslet was in front.
Well, he's the king of the world.
That's not how.
Whatever he wants.
All right, that's fair.
He can be whatever he wants. Also, kudos to Tim. He didn't balk at all when I touched him just now.
No, but that was expected.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
The other problem is on my Instagram is that I put up the shirtless Spider-Man animated intro that Lewis made. Right.
That's amazing.
Right now 970 views. It's been up for 5 hours. That's impossible.
Instagram is weird.
Who's burying my content now because I'm not fucking verified?
Hey, dude.
You know what I mean?
The content that's being buried is Nick Scarpino's fucking tweet.
Yeah.
So we just found out that NSYNC is not spelled how you thought it was.
How would you think NSYNC was spelled?
Well, you kind of put it in my head already.
Yeah, but how would you have it?
I would have done the letter N, S, Y, N, C. I wouldn't have probably put an apostrophe or a star. I would not have known about the star either.
Copy that. Okay.
You got nothing? You're just going straight out spelling of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
What would you have said?
You're a monster.
I was going to go apostrophe. N apostrophe.
NSYNC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Absolutely. That's what everybody thinks.
And it's not. It's star NSYNC.
It's star NSYNC, which is ridiculous. And it's everywhere. It's not just in one place. It's like all the albums, it's the same thing. Nick tweets this, and so far only 3 retweets. One of them's me, and one of them's Nick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, you retweeted yourself already?
Sometimes you gotta.
Not immediately.
Sometimes you
You
gotta
let
give
it cook
yourself
for
a
a little.
little-
You got to let it cook a second.
Sometimes I'll do that. I'll go back, I'll unretweet it, and then I'll quote tweet it.
Wow.
That's how I do. I'll be like, this guy's funny.
Oh, I do.
Thank you,
it's
Mr. Yazman. Greg's shirtless Spider-Man intro on Instagram is blocked in some countries. That makes more sense. I forgot that a lot of countries don't have the freedoms of these United States. And apparently only 970 of my followers are in the United States.
That's fair.
But again, maybe if I was verified, something would happen.
Maybe.
How much sooner did you request the verification than me?
3 hours.
Fuck you.
Right? It was that same day.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But it happened. And I keep looking at it. That
Yeah.
blue check mark. Just
It's beautiful.
staring me
Have
in
you
the eyes.
have you started getting more brand deals? Have you noticed that?
No.
Poe, how many brand deals do you have?
Top of my head, 0.
Okay. Well,
Lucky
glad you
number
thought about it.
0.
Glad you thought about
Lucky
it.
number 0.
Although the other day I looked like I was, working a rep for Under Armour, where I had like an Under Armour shirt and Under Armour like sweatshirt, and I'm like, oh, I'm not working with
Just start
them.
tagging. Just start tagging
Yeah.
it.
You know,
what I mean?
some of the best brand deals can start that way.
Yeah.
From passion.
Like LaCroix.
Yeah, like LaCroix.
It's not a brand deal. One day I hope it will be.
Well, that's what. Yeah, it's a passion
Now-
you're working
now
on.
that you're
you know?
verified.
Now that you're verified, you
Now that
you
I'm
sort of
verified,
throw
it is a
around.
game changer.
What we need to do is, and I'm just throwing this out there, spitballing, top of my head. All of us cold turkeys stop drinking LaCroix. We take all the LaCroix out of the office and we see if they have a decrease in sales because of that. Then they'll come wanting. You know what I mean? Then they'll be like, Tim, we made a huge mistake by not giving you money for this in the first
My
place.
whole LaCroix obsession has taught me many things.
Yeah.
One of those things, though, is that we have way too much sway and power. Where just us drinking it, just then people seeing it, like advertising works. People are always like, oh, why would you call it the HP theater? No one's really gonna like care about HP. No, it's true. They will, just because it's awareness. No one would give a fuck about LaCroix if it wasn't for me. Now they do. You know what I mean? A whole bunch of these people, I always get tweets like, oh, I'm trying it for the first time. Don't do that. Don't. It's not worth it. You're going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Well, do it, but tag LaCroix at LaCroix in it, so they understand they need to throw it back. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when Portillo's had to just fucking put me on the wall and give us some money that one time.
Put me on the wall.
In some locations.
In some location, they're working on it.
Every
Any new
location I've been to.
Exactly.
I've seen it.
You only go
Yeah.
to the hot locations. You know what I mean? Or the ones where we've said we're going. Please put up the face.
The one we went to for our entire lives, still nothing.
No. Yeah, no. In old school Portillo's, they don't give a flying fuck about the new faces. They're trying not to have the place burned down. You know what I mean?
Michael K asks, what is that on Poe question mark spelling shirt?
All right, let's get this out of the way first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It has to-
P-O. P-O.
Like
You're spelling
drop
like
the- like
Edward.
puddle of
Like
mud.
the boy.
Like puddle of mud?
I don't know. I threw that out there. It's going to be one of those days.
Anybody
Okay.
got to share?
I got Rob Zombie and Ozzy Osbourne.
How was that as a concert in 1990? Was that one?
Freaking awesome.
What does that say? 1991? I bet.
I just
Man.
saw Ozzy about a week ago.
Oh,
yeah,
they're
he's
still putting him on stage?
still kicking.
Wow.
Yeah, he's doing great. I mean, he had to take a 15-minute break for guitars and drum solos just to go to the
Yeah.
backstage and lay down, but he's still kicking.
He's 97. You know, he did a lot of drugs back in the
I
day.
think 70.
He used to snort a lot of ants.
But have you seen that article before where his like DNA has like adapted to his like everything that he's done to his body?
I
like
call
Spider-Man.
bullshit on that.
He snorted ants.
Scientists.
Oh, you don't remember this story?
No.
You got to watch some behind the musics, man.
VH1 behind the
He
music, man.
snorted ants?
Yeah, because he was so high and shit. He bit the head off a live bat. You know
I
that
know
story?
about that.
He bit the head off a live dove.
Really?
Pete on the Alamo was banned from Texas.
Yeah.
What the-
There was
Tattooed
some,
himself on his knees while shitting. Like his kneecaps, he put smileys on.
Fucking crazy.
He's insane.
Yeah. No, he's a crazy person. Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne, man.
Yeah.
Almost
Crazy
cool.
train.
Greg's got it. I like that. With Poe with the asterisk.
No, the asterisk goes before.
It goes before Poe.
Put the star before Poe.
Oh, man.
No, hard to believe Ozzy Osbourne's still kicking. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I mean, if you've never seen like Ozzy's show is good, but if you've never seen a Rob Zombie show before, I mean, it's phenomenal. He puts all his money into the stage, and all like you're trying to feel like you're in a horror movie, and it's a really good
Man of
experience.
1,000 Corpses.
Yeah.
Zombie
What
classic.
was the other one?
The House of 1,000 Corpses.
House of
Close
Thousand Corpses was what you were saying. He did a couple more, though. Didn't
he
he
did
just
one-
make one?
There was one other one. I don't remember.
He
what it was
did House of Thousand Corpses.
That's the one that
Then
Brandon
another
showed.
one.
Which won an award. The one after it did.
I think it was Schindler's List. No, it was.
Yeah.
did another one, and then he did Halloween, right?
Yes,
called.
I believe
Halloween
so.
2.
The Rob Zombie Halloween.
The first
I like
one.
the
First one was good.
Damn good.
First one was
Was
good.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was 2 cuts of it that were radically different, and both of them were really good. And then Halloween 2 was the worst movie I've ever seen in a theater.
Wow.
I fucking hated it.
Was it like
The first 15
now,
minutes
but
are
here's-
the best in the whole Halloween franchise has.
I don't
Here's the
remember why.
question.
What happened?
It's
the first 15
essentially
minutes.
just Halloween 2, the movie, but like condensed. It's just the hospital scenes.
Yeah.
So good. And then the rest of the movie happened.
Then it's the
Was
witching
it?
hour.
This is a real movie.
Devil's Rejects.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. Thank you. Was it? This was a real movie. If there's a bad movie, or was it just poorly made? Because I remember watching House of a Thousand Corpses and thinking, this is like barely a movie.
Yeah.
This is like you gave someone a camera and they got all their friends together and they're all trying to act like it's scary. And it's not scary.
Halloween, the Halloween movies were like legitimate movies. They just made a lot of really bad calls. Like Halloween 2, like they made him essentially just this wandering homeless guy, and it was like, that's
Not scary.
right. And then
So bad.
they gave Michael Myers some weird fucked up backstory. At some point, they were like having a picnic, eating a human.
Oh.
Yeah, there's
There's
something like that in
some
there.
weird, like a lot of Satan imagery and shit. It got real Rob Zombie.
I enjoyed the in-theater version ending, which then, of course, I couldn't find on the DVD. It's like, oh, it's Rob Zombie's ending now. But, like, it ended up becoming that, like, you know, his sister takes up, like, the Rob Zombie mantle. I'm like, wow, that's a really
Fucking
cool thing.
I know,
And
my
then I
mind's-
never saw it again because that's not how Rob Zombie originally saw it. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
The Zomb.
I watched.
What is he doing? Oh, he's just tours now?
Tours. He's working on a new film. He just had. I saw one like the Salem Witches that he did. Oh, that was weird and messed up. I didn't like it. And then he just did one recently. It was like called like 31 or some type of number, and they ended up. I think it's like amusement park or something like that. But still haven't really gotten a chance to see that one.
Still
yet.
married to that woman who
Oh, yeah.
acted in the
Who's
other
in
movies?
everything,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Bunny
Zombie, is that her name?
Cheryl Moon.
Zombie? Yeah, that's it. I knew she had a weird name.
Cheryl
Bunny
Moon.
Zombie, I thought I was close to, but it wasn't, you know.
I was gonna say over the weekend, I'm getting in the Halloween spirit. We talked about this in the morning show. Watched Ghostbusters 2. Watched Alien Resurrection. Thought I'd get all the classics out.
Yeah, yeah.
Also watched Alien Covenant because the missus hadn't seen it. And then I thought I'm gonna keep this going. And I watched Drag Me to Hell, which is
Oh,
the Sam
Sam
Raimi
Raimi.
movie. And I was like, why did I not see this way earlier?
You liked it?
I did. It's
I like it
very
too.
Sam Raimi.
Exactly.
It's Evil Dead. It's all that stuff. And because it occurred to me, I was like, oh, this is not going to be a normal horror movie. This is going to be a Sam Raimi movie
Yeah.
where it's like blood spurting out of people's mouths and
I love it when
silly
she
shit going on.
She like trying to give the button back to the lady, and she
Yeah.
like has the corpse, and she like yanks the mouth down like super wide. and
yeah,
shoves
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's fun.
I thought that ending too was like fucked up.
that
When
was
Justin
cool.
Long's like, left this
You
in my
knew it was
car.
coming.
And I
You
was
knew it was coming.
"Ah."
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's
I think
never
you'd
gonna
like
see
it.
Yeah?
It's a silly, like over the top horror Sam Raimi movie.
I'm into that.
So if you've seen Army of Darkness or Evil Dead or any of like the Spider-Man movies, just
seen
imagine
them, yeah.
Spider-Man with horror,
It's scary.
and that's what it is.
I want to give a shout out to Joester
Not
on our
necessarily.
staff.
Yeah.
Joey Noah, because when you read her caption there, you can read it in her voice. Drag
Yeah.
Me to Hell is so good, because that's how Joey talks all the time.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
Nick, I need you to do me a favor.
Uh-oh.
I specifically want you and Daniela to do me a favor.
Yeah, sure.
I want you guys to watch Hocus Pocus
Oh, I love Hocus
together, and I want a review from her. I want to know if she thinks it holds up.
Deal.
Because I feel like
I
it
will get
has
her to write out a paragraph worth of information for you of her review, and I will read it on the morning show.
Hocus Pocus is legitimately awesome, right?
I own the movie. It is awesome. I watch it every Halloween.
Like,
I don't have any. I watched it for the first time not too long ago. And it was,
First time?
yeah, it was,
Wow.
well, like as an adult, I don't know. I'm sure I saw it somewhere on Fox and Family. It was fine.
I don't put it up as like top tier Halloween movies.
really?
But I might
To
be
me,
wrong.
I think it's
I
number
might
one.
be wrong. I haven't seen it in a
I think
while.
It's actually number one.
What about
Greg,
Idle
Can I
Hands?
get a ruling?
What about Idle Hands?
is amazing, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Idle Hands. Thank you. I got to put
watch
that on the
it.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I'm trying to do like 31 days of Halloween.
Sure.
But I've already watched like 5 movies, so I feel like I'm 5 days ahead.
So you're
Sure.
stealing
Okay.
the
I'm
ABC
good.
Family mantra?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's
No, that's what I was
perfect.
talking about. Fox Family.
Yeah. I
Fox and Friends.
I don't even
The
like Fox
Halloween
and Friends
special.
and like ABC Family just made this thing
That's
up.
hilarious.
Cool, Greg. Here's my question for you then. Do you feel the beer is hitting you harder because there's no CO2 or maybe an influx of CO2 in it?
It should hit you less hard.
Huh? All right.
It should hit you less hard because isn't carbonation supposed to
I feel like I'm Kano
just
right now. I
tripping.
feel like I'm
Why
Kano
don't you
right
stop
now. You know
drinking? Why don't I get you a beer in a bottle?
Because they don't have those here, of course. I'm always like, Cool Greg. Cool Greg, have emergency beer on hand. And Cool Greg drinks them all.
Yeah, because it goes.
man.
Really trying to figure out a balance too as well. All right.
First off, can we give a shout out?
All about
Can we give a
it.
shout out to Cool Greg's hat right now? Because it's like a paper airplane, but that's like kind
is
of not
this?
a paper airplane.
It's not Jay-Z shit.
Jay-Z shit. Okay.
That's fucking dope. That is a dope ass.
Did you see Jay-Z recently?
Yeah.
Like in a Venmo or what?
OTR on the Run concert with Beyonce, and Beyonce killed it. I'm kind of pissed.
He said on the run
I
concert.
know. I like
with
how he got up
Beyonce,
to talk
Beyonce
about it and got
killed
away from the microphone.
Hey, he shut the door. He was doing his job.
Hey, you know, we're all just having fun here. It's a good time. This is
Hey,
going to be a
why
fun
don't
one, all
you-
right?
Oh,
It's
it's
been a
gonna be
long
fun.
day at work. Now it's time for some
Were
fun.
you upset with Beyonce doing a good job? What like?
my whole life, I've never seen Jay-Z get outshined, and it got real fucking close, and it kind of scared me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, the concert looked bonkers. Like they for Crazy in Love. Like remember the outfit she wears in the Crazy in Love video?
No, sure no.
It's a fucking iconic outfit.
Sorry.
She like wears that with like 17 backup dancers also all wearing it. It's fucking great.
Is that what?
Were you there too?
Every.
Oh, really? I was thinking the Bonnie and Clyde song.
No.
Okay.
Do you know? I think I've been to the last.
Oh, we're resetting the internet?
Hey,
But we're still
everyone,
going to keep
reset
recording,
the
right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you know that the last two weddings?
Everyone calls him that, right? All
Yeah,
of them.
everything
It's
is
a
that.
biologist. I like, oh, that's where you started.
Or biologist, or
Anthropologist.
anthropologist, or sociologist.
You know, he's an ologist. And
If Gia wants to take your last name, if you're going to marry Gia, I'm not putting pressure on you, but you're
Yeah.
probably going to do that. If she wants to change it from Harris to Gettys, you can change your first name probably too.
I don't think that's true because
It might just be last names.
do you want to take my name? That's great. You're in the middle of an immigration process. I feel like we shouldn't have this many variables in play. And she's like, no, it won't be a big deal. It's a fucking deal.
Huge
you know what I
deal.
mean? Of just like going
Yeah,
around doing
terrible
all this different
idea.
stuff.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to toss out. Cool, Greg and Joe. Troubleshooting the internet over there. You might just want to close the chat and then pop out a new chat. You know what I mean? Sometimes YouTube shits the bed like that.
Is
I
the
know you're
internet
on and I
back
know
up?
you're working. I'm not.
That's not what we're worried about.
Okay. What are you worried about?
That everything is red.
Oh, yeah. Everything being red's a problem. Yeah.
Are we uploading things right now? Okay.
No, just having a bad day.
Did anything record?
Oh, no, we're
it's
recording.
recording.
The recording's fine. It's always the live stuff you have to worry about in here. Oh, now we got Andy here. Fucking middle management Andy Cortez here to do some
middle
tunes.
management, Andy Cortez.
I feel like it's
someone's-
itchy and scratchy. Is this cartoon going out live?
We're still recording though, right, Cool Greg? Yeah.
Is this still the pre-show?
Yes, this is still
This is
pre-show.
still
so
pre-show,
This is all
yeah.
garbage town. Who
pre-show.
cares what happens here?
Panzer G2 says,
I'm going to get up and look. I'm going to look.
Dinosaur
I'm going to
Story.
look. I see you, Ignacio.
We're Back at Dinosaur Story is fucking fantastic. Very underrated movie.
I didn't know that was a real movie.
Yeah.
That's
It
a real
is.
thing.
Oh yeah. Cool. It's
Yeah.
super good.
I remember like seeing the preview, but I can't.
There's some scary parts in it.
Not like Land Before Time.
We're Back at Dinosaur Story is kind of like the cool teenager version
Okay.
of Land Before Time. Like imagine if Littlefoot had an attitude.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, like you fall asleep on, and there's like Land Before Time, like 6 or something out there. You're
Well,
like,
it's a lot more than 6 now.
yeah, it just keeps going.
Land Before Time.
Oh yeah. Shit fucking made me cry.
It's fucking good.
Eh.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Have you seen
That
the-
was when they actually did like wanted to destroy children, where they were like, we are going to make every child in here. Now you don't get that so much. You get kids movies that are like more cerebral. You know,
Like
you get
Inside
Inside
Out.
Out, and you're like, oh, it's not sad so much as it is really thought provoking. And
Well, I
like,
don't know. They had that Toy Story 3, right?
Yeah,
Where,
that
like-
shit was terrifying.
Yeah, it's like they're about to be destroyed.
Toy Story 3, I've never cried harder in my life. I've been through fucking family deaths and stuff.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 hit me in a way that like I don't even like want to think about it now. And like they're saying that Toy Story 4 is going to be even more sad. Fuck that.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Stop. Have a soul.
Go back to 1.
Did we
Make it a
figure it
little
out?
fun.
The Patreon's gone. It's all over.
Okay. Well, it's been
I'm
a
gonna
great
top off
ride.
movie. They figured it out. They look like. I mean, it's not on us. It's the
What?
shitty internet, but whatever. Do you want more Coke or something? You want to party?
No, I'm okay for now. Actually, I would love some water.
Okay, you need
Is
it?
that possible?
good.
Okay.
I'll
Thanks,
fucking
boss.
party if you want to party.
You want a beer?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant like okay.
Well, when I say party, I mean
means
Diet
Diet
Coke.
Coke.
Yeah.
We were taking shots of Diet Coke the other day right at the skull. Joey and me and Andy got nasty.
Yeah.
Something I wasn't able to break out was I was looking real forward to it. Was this one at the concert?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Panzer GS says Land Before Time gave me poison ivy looking for a 4-leaf. That's
Ooh,
hilarious.
that's funny. That's really
I'm
funny.
sorry for you.
No, I swear to God, there was a time when we were kids, they just didn't know the psychological damage
Yeah.
they were doing to us. So like all kids movies were legit terrifying. Like you go back and watch some of those now and you're like, that's really not something kids should watch.
Are you a Brave Little Toaster fan?
No.
I like that one. Toaster jumps into the like grinding gears at the end to try and
Dude.
save his like master human.
I fucking love
Christ.
that movie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Does he
It's
die?
twisted. That TV part was really scary.
Yep. Oh, the TV,
The clown on the TV.
Yeah, and then you had the air conditioner who was like, bro.
Oh my god! But there's a part where there's the clown like firefighter, but he's making fires happen.
Yes.
And then he like I don't. It's all like it's a cartoon, so it's like crazy shit. But he gets super big, and his head goes near the toaster, and he just goes, "Run!"
Yes.
fucking horrifying.
Yeah, that shit was scary, man. I'm telling you. As I go back and rewatch some of these movies with fresh eyes as a 38-year-old man, I'm like, wow, this explains a lot.
Yeah, dude.
These movies really traumatized me when I was a child.
But even like just Looney Tunes, you see like kids getting, like, oh, this is how you handle things.
Getting hit in the head.
Somebody in the head with
beat
the
things over the head. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's like, oh, put the kid in front of the television, watch some cartoons. They're good for you. Oh, I see what's up.
Ignacio Royal says, Tim, did you see Kanye on SNL? I'm not into that kind of music, but it didn't seem good. Yo, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Kanye, man. It's sad. It's very sad.
I think Kanye is like a Tyrannosaurus Rex testing the fence, just to see what's there.
You're just pushing it, man.
He's just pushing and seeing where he can go and get through, and like he just doesn't care. I don't think he gives a fuck.
Push Gandhi back till November.
Yeah.
His album's called Gandhi.
Yandi.
Oh, Yandi.
It's a sequel to Yeezus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That checks out. Now that right there, see, every time I think I don't want to care about Kanye West anymore, he does that, and I'm like, that's awesome. It's genius. God bless you. God bless you.
Lexi Gunner says, All Dogs Go to Heaven tops them all.
Huh?
Dude, shout out to All Dogs Go to Heaven.
That was a good one.
It's so good. And Homeward Bound.
Oh, yeah.
Were both those in SF?
All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 was in San Francisco. Thank you. Remember All Dogs Go to Heaven, the animated series? Remember in the 90s when everything got an animated series? I love that. There was Jumanji, the animated series. There was Godzilla, the 1998 movie animated series. It was actually pretty good.
Fight your Star Command?
Hell yeah.
That Godzilla, was that the Godzilla, the Matthew Broderick?
Yeah.
That movie
Got a
was
whole
not
animated
good.
series. There was Evolution. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
No.
It
Dude,
got
I
it
just
got an
waited.
animated
Yes.
series.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw this out there. Hot take, controversial. I know. I watched Evolution. You're talking about the David Duchovny Evolution. Orlando Jones, I think is his name.
Yeah, it is.
Ivan Reitman,
The 7
right?
Up guy.
Ivan Reitman. I'm gonna throw this out there. Not that bad of a movie. Evolution. Actually, well put together. Fun movie. Silly.
Was that the one where he's like, I'm gonna take this bullet and throw it at you?
Yeah.
I don't remember that line, but
The
yes.
Mask animated series, that was a thing.
Yep.
All right, we ready to go?
Yeah.
Cool, Greg. You ready to go?
Ready, you are.
Okay. Audience, we know that the internet's being a butt. We're sorry. There's nothing that can be done. Strap in.
Patreon's having issues too, I was seeing. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, Patreon is definitely having issues too. Where I went in the comic book club, I'm like, I want to check on something on the post, and it's like, you've never posted a Patreon before. I'm like, I'm not gonna freak out about this. I'm gonna let Patreon sort of shit out that we've never posted since 2015 as a company. But okay. Yeah. So sorry, everybody. You can catch it at patreon.com/kindafunny on Friday. There's one big video with the pre and post shows on it and stuff like that.
One big room.
Nick, I need you to fucking
No, I'm coming in, man.
get it
Bring
on.
it in, Nick.
I'm just low energy for the post show, but I'm gonna
Do you want this
bring it
higher?
right back up.
I don't need a hunch if you want.
I'm good. That's just a natural look.
True. I've known you a long time. Here we go, everybody. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Over Greggy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Now here's what I'm gonna tell you, Greg.
I
When I
can't wait
asked
to
for
hear it.
water, you delivered.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you gave me an amazing pour. A lot of people safety line much lower than what you said. You've said screw convention, screw
No, man,
safety.
no.
I'm gonna fill this to the brim.
Fill
And
her
guess
up.
what, brother? I love you for it.
You know what's it all about? You know why? These hands don't shake. You know what I mean? Look at them, fucking
Yeah, oh my God.
stone cold right there. You
That
know what I
is
mean?
shocking.
These colors don't run.
These colors
Smooth
don't
there.
run. Over there, the baby blues, Tim Gettys.
What's it most?
And then, for the first time ever on the Game Over Greggy Show, my best friend from childhood and ever, Poe. You've heard him. You've heard him in every story.
Yes.
Every story
Many
ever.
phone calls.
Many phone calls with Poe.
Random calls. Yes. Very nice.
What
very
is
nice.
that like when you look at your phone and your best friend since the first grade is on it, and you legitimately have to think to yourself, should I pick this up right now?
Yeah, I mean, the standard Greg rule is if he's calling you, it's probably for a show.
Yeah.
Instead of he needs something, you know. Outside of the depressing news you gave me the one time. But yeah, for the most part, you know, if it's going to be a text,
Why are you calling me on a Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm calling you on a
Yes.
Tuesday night?
going back and back into this Greg's cancer call to me. But yeah, it was, you know, one of those, yeah, this is odd. Why would he call me on a Tuesday? But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's going to be something for a show and something weird. And one time, I'm at an airport and
You want to keep everybody guessing.
Yeah,
you know what
no,
I mean?
I understand.
How do you make cancer fun? I struggled, all
you know
right?
what?
I
You
didn't
figure-
have-
We got there in the end.
I didn't
Yeah.
knock it out of the park.
Sure did.
You know what I mean?
Sure
I
did.
tried though.
And from
heart
the
stick
other
was
end, I
dope.
did not do a good. I'm like, so what do we do now? And like, I don't know. You want to laugh about stuff? Like, okay, sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you do it, though.
That's
Tim.
how you do it, man.
Now, Tim, let's talk
Yes.
about the elephant in the room. You are sunburned.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell happened to you now?
Fucking SF Giants. They need to figure out their shit.
You want a dome?
Yeah, dude, dome us up, man.
Thunderdome.
Why the fuck is that not a thing?
Now-
baseball games don't
Can I-
make sense.
Now,
Can I
did you
ask-
put on sunscreen?
No,
Why?
I didn't expect.
How
this
are you
to be a
like that?
I walk across the street and I get burned.
Me too. I've kind of just
But
been
Poe
like,
knows he puts on sunglasses.
Right.
He puts on
I
sunscreen.
just don't like how it feels.
Who
Greg.
cares though? Look at you.
Yeah.
You're gonna get more of the skin cancer.
I'll agree with that. Did you wear a hat?
No,
No,
I
Tim's
didn't-
not gonna- fashion
I
over
didn't-
function,
I
he's
didn't
not wearing
plan
anything.
for this. It just kind of happened. Like I knew I was gonna go, but I kind of expected we were going to be under shade or be inside somewhere. Like from everything I've ever seen from Alexis, I've never went to one of the baseball games with them, but it's always been like, oh, we're gonna be in this club thing or in this box or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting. No, we were in the bleachers under the beating sun in San Francisco, which also isn't a thing. I leave my sunset house, it's foggy as all fuck, and I'm like, I couldn't have a better day. And then I get down there and I'm like, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, you gotta plan for that. Poe and I
Yeah.
went to the game the day before.
I then sunscreened up. There was very nice people all around me. About 4 different people gave me sunscreen.
Sure.
And I layered that shit.
Yeah, that's
But-
the classic though. As you're baking though,
was
right?
too
Where they're
late,
looking at you
yeah.
like, you probably need this.
No, as soon as I got
See, was the
Yeah.
damage was done. Was it SPF 5?
no, but it wasn't the 150 that I need.
Nice.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
another
So you
person
know
that's
what's
about
up.
the
You know
150.
what's up.
They're like,
Wait.
after 100 only goes up this much. I need that.
I need it.
I need every.
Wait,
fucks.
there's actually a SPF 150?
Yes, there is.
And you... Wow, that's sad.
I mean, look at Poe. You think he doesn't know about this?
no, you guys, like, I'm looking at both your arms, and like, if I blink, I don't know which one is which.
Honestly, no. Like, you have to understand how fucking freaky it is for me, though, right? Of, Tim here, co-founder of Kind of Funny. I'm traveling with him all the time. I've seen him at his worst here, burned to shit. I've seen him at his best, not burned at all. But when I look at his arms, I see Poe's arms.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Like, the first time Poe got really burned, it was like, or I'm sorry, the first time Tim got really burned, it was like, oh, you're like Poe. We have to really watch you and do it. And I think
Brethren.
it was what, like this year at Comic-Con, maybe. Did you go to Comic-Con this year?
Oh, yeah. That
Where
was
it's
the
like
Rocket League thing.
Right. And like you were like layering like I've never seen a man layer. And you were
That-
coming
yeah.
out, looked like you were covered in mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't even blending anymore, but you kept putting it on. You had to
Yeah,
be there.
man. Because I had something I had to look good for. I don't remember what it was. But that's
Fucking-
my whole thing. With this, yesterday, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to Bali. I'm going to burn even more there.
Yeah, you're gonna
Might
get
as well get a
crispy.
fucking nice coat going. You know what I
do.
mean?
It's not as burnt as I've seen you.
Oh, yeah,
the
no,
worst
this-
burn
this
I've
is
ever
fine.
seen was when we did Love and Sex stuff in Austin.
That was the
that
worst
was
I've ever
horrible.
had.
And you
where I
were
blistered
blistering.
everywhere.
And people would look like,
Disgusting.
it's bad because people were like, hey, Nick. They would just look at Tim like,
Oh my God, are you okay?
And
What do we
Tim's like,
do?
No,
What do
I'm
we
not
do?
Okay.
You know what
I'm
would have
not
been a really
okay.
good idea if we shot an entire 18 episode season of a show in that one day when
Yeah.
I was sunburned.
Yeah.
So forever you can just watch those videos and just see me sunburned.
Hey man, that's
crispy
a
as a
good reason for
motherfucker.
people to go back and watch now. You know,
Go back and watch,
great.
man.
for
Love
Poe
sex
with the
stuff.
sunburn stories,
Season
I always
3.
think of two. One, we graduate high school. We have a friend named Ken who's got a beat up camper. A bunch of idiot 18-year-olds are like, we're gonna fix this thing up, which really meant Ken and his dad are gonna fix it up, and then we're
We
gonna
sat back and watched.
we're gonna drive this thing somewhere, and they had pointed at a random map and they found Apalachicola, and that's where we're going down
That's in
south.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida. Oh, the Florida-Bama line, right? And so we went down there, and we were like, we're gonna go swim in the Gulf here. We're gonna do all this stuff, and we went there, and Poe's like, they're not getting me. I'm one-upping the sun, and I'm going to wear a shirt while Poe, an athlete then, a collegiate athlete. You know what I mean? He had abs. You know what I mean? He had this body. It wasn't that he was hiding it like I
It
was.
wasn't this that you see before.
I was hiding under a fucking Hawaiian shirt because I was like, I'm just fucking fat.
Hey, brother, I've been there.
Yeah, I know.
I've been there.
Poe's like, I'm gonna fucking one up these guys. I'm gonna wear a shirt. Somehow burned through the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Worse
Dude,
than the
I-
people who
I
also
feel
got
you.
burned.
I feel
You've been
you.
there.
I too lived that life.
Yeah.
Fucking hard. The worst thing was one time I was wearing a football jersey. And I was like, it's lighter. It'll be
Oh,
fine.
you had no undershirt on?
No undershirt. And
Ooh,
it
I know where this
was
story's
a
going.
Tim Brown jersey from the Oakland Raiders, number 81.
Black. Gonna really suck.
And it was black. Yes. So I'm like, we're playing in the ocean and Santa Cruz and it was having a great time. 2 fatal flaws there. 1, I get sunburned in little dots.
Yeah.
So that fucking sucked. And 2, my nipples got so fucking chafed. Yeah. Like I
From
didn't
the-
realize
from the
that
jersey?
was going to be an issue. Yeah. Things were super bad. So then I was burned and shaved.
Oh, it's too bad, man.
was
You know
out
what?
of
You know what I'm gonna
commission,
get for
man.
you next time we go into any sort of ocean? Just the full
The
rash
next
guard.
time we go into any type of ocean,
Any-
I've never wanted to do an ocean with
Any
you.
bottle,
But the next time.
we're gonna get you like a full like 1980s rash guard, like the ones that you used to wear in underneath the wetsuits that go all the way up to here, cover all of your arms, and then you can wear like we'll get you one for the bottom part too.
I'm good, dude.
And that's just
I
we'll
want
just
that.
pull you around like that.
Yeah.
Because you get pretty burned too.
Yeah, if I don't watch it, but even then, it's like I get red. Yeah, but I have a little. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like fucking tanning by any means, but I'm usually better than Tim.
'Cause I can
Tim
tell
I
goes-
that
was
you
so
were
bad
out.
yesterday. Like we were at the ballpark for maybe an hour, and Finnegan looks at me and goes, "You're already peeling."
That's
And then Gia scratches my neck, and it's just like,
oh god,
dust.
oh god, no, that's
Yeah.
gross. Yeah, because like you got some sun, but I would look at you and go, you got some
when?
sun
Oh, like this weekend.
over the weekend.
Yeah, I went to a baseball game too.
But to be fair, when you're
Same one, kind of.
when you get burned or
Yeah.
like too much sun, it goes very well with the I'm drinking too much beer motif
Thank
for
you.
you.
That's what I do.
So like when you get super drunk and you've got a little bit of red to you, I'm like, that's just
Can't
the Greg
tell.
we
You
all
can't
know.
tell what
That's
it
what
is,
we
yeah.
love. We love.
Well,
Wait, did you guys go to the same fucking game?
Wait, put a pin in. No, we went on Saturday and they went on Sunday.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I know, right?
We did. You put sun stuff on.
Yeah. Pin on that story though, real quick,
Sure.
about getting red drinking. The other sunburns post story I always think of is we were coming back from France. We went on a school trip to France or whatever, and we're in the like security line, and without thinking. We're like, you're all exhausted. We've been up forever. You're trying to get home or whatever. You're in this fucking line. I turned to whoever was with me. I'm like, watch this. This will be funny. And I poked Poe on the back because Poe just doesn't like to be touched. Expecting
Damn,
him,
they're the same person.
expecting him to be mad that he got touched. Period. I forgot that he was sunburned and grumpy, and I did it. He's like, "Oh man!" He's like screaming at me in the customs line. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Right, the sunburn. Sorry about
It's
that.
bad,
Didn't mean to
dude.
do that. Didn't mean to do
The
that."
worst thing about sunburns is showers.
Yep.
Getting in them showers, and all of a sudden it touches you, and it just feels like 1,000 knives.
Well, that's how I figured out how the day was. You know, you go into the shower and you're like, I think I did okay today. And then you're like,
Yep.
you can feel the hot spots. Like,
Well, so
I got hit here.
That's the problem with me is I feel like I was born in the darkness, and now it's like the sun. I just can't deal with it. But I've dealt with it for so long.
Aren't you
that-
half Italian?
I am. I don't know what the fuck happened.
What happened?
But I feel like I'm so used. My natural state of being is sunburn.
Yeah.
So like this sunburn, you can slap me on the neck, and I'm fine. I'm used to it.
It didn't-
Like I wouldn't even consider this a sunburn.
Yeah,
This is
it didn't even occur to me that you were sunburned. Like I know that you're
Yeah.
sunburned. Well, that's just normally Tim. It's what state of sunburn is he going to be in the next time I see him?
Now you brought up me getting red or whatever when I drink,
Yeah.
which I think I hide pretty well. All right.
Well, boozy McGillicuddy, okay.
I was thinking about this recently. I forget why, but the first time I was ever really drinking at one of the condo parties or whatever, I remember having a conversation with Poe. I was sitting there and he sat down next to me. And we'd both been drinking, and he's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm really hot." And he's like, "Oh, well, yeah, like alcohol will do that to you." And I was just like, "No, I'm hot," and I like refused to accept that it was one of the alcohol symptoms.
Well, so you weren't like accidentally sitting on a grill or
No,
something?
no,
like
I was
that.
just like, I was like very, very,
You,
very clear
But that's
that it
crazy.
was not the
Obviously,
alcohol, right?
like, yeah.
I know my body. I've been a fucking man for 18 years.
yeah. Yeah, beautiful man.
Oh, wow. Oh, hey, how you doing?
I feel like I've bounced back from sunburn. Where when I first moved up here, I used to get sunburn all the time, but now it just doesn't happen.
You're Italian.
so much.
Oh, you're full blown
Well, I
Italian.
grew up in Southern California, so like I was always in the sun, like to some degree. So I think my skin developed a little bit more of a tolerance for it. Then moving up here, like this was 12 years ago when there was just no sun. It was like the year that it rained for 40 days straight, and my skin just got way more sensitive to sunlight. Now I think I bounced back because my wife.
You're
loves-
always olive now.
My wife just is like, we're going out in the sun. We have to.
She likes to
It makes
use
us
the
happy.
pools, right, and read magazines.
It's my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare.
Sure.
Still to this day, I'm 30 years old. Don't like taking my shirt off in front of people. A woman that requires me to do that on almost a weekly basis shows how much I love this woman. Because I'm like, I don't like this. I can sit.
But I'll
People,
put up with it
people
for
are
you.
judging me. I don't like the way my body looks. And this place does not have fountain beverages. That's just rule number one.
Oh, man, you were trying to party. I didn't know you were trying to party.
Oh, I was trying to party, dog.
Not really. Now you've been on a Diet Coke bender.
I
You were good for a long time, and
Yeah, I
now
fell
it's
off the wagon.
fucking on.
On Sunday, I think I only had Diet Coke. And at one point, Dee was like, we're going to stop you right there. We're just going to put some water in that glass. I'm like, that's probably a good idea. I'm starting to shake. A lot of caffeine. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. I feel you so much in this going to the pool to hang out. I don't understand this desire. I'm just gonna lay out by the pool.
Sure.
And bake.
Yeah, like, that sounds like the
Seems like I'm
worst-
wasting a lot of time.
Well,
Could be playing games.
Exactly.
Could
And
be on the
the power of
computer.
the Switch, you can do that, but then there's glare.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no.
it's horrible.
I'm very scared, guys. I'm about to embark. Today is my last day in America.
Yeah.
I think you leave
I guess
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow is my last day.
Are you not
Well,
coming
they
in
don't know.
tomorrow?
You could be not in
Are we
America right
recording
now.
shows with you tomorrow?
But tomorrow night, I'm going to Bali, Indonesia, and then Tokyo. And all of this scares me. You know, I like what I know.
Yeah.
So going to this place that's the birthplace of yoga. All right, this
You're a
place-
big yogi.
Ubud. I don't know. We're going there.
Yes.
And it's in a fucking jungle. It's just a jungle. And then there's a place called the Monkey Forest that we're gonna go. And Gia signed me up for this, and she's like, "Oh yeah, like this sounds like something you'd like." I'm like, "What about the Monkey Forest?"
No, that's something you'd like,
Sounds
Gia, and
something-
you're allowed to say that.
Yeah,
you're allowed
and
to say, "I'd
that.
really enjoy
She's
this."
doing this like sunrise yoga thing. She's doing all this stuff, which is totally fine. This is her vacation. I'm just I'm just there.
Your
Yeah,
baggage.
right? I am the baggage of this. But
Welcome to
I'm
marriage.
fucking horrified about meeting these fucking monkeys.
Why?
I've seen all these YouTube videos of these monkeys all monkeying around, riding their little scooters and stuff. You know what I mean?
That
It's
is the
adorable.
circus.
But like, then they do that thing where they're like, and like they have the fucking fangs.
Remember that chimp that ate that lady's face? That could be you.
Exactly, dude. And it's gonna be me. Like I know the monkeys are gonna fuck with me.
That's great. That is kinda
They're
fun.
like, oh, you have to put your wallet and like, because they know to pickpocket.
Wow.
Everything about this sounds horrible, man.
What I love the idea here is if we just had a little bit more money, and by a little bit I mean like $50,000 more, and we surprised you by also being there, and we had Kevin in a monkey outfit, and he ran up to you and he was doing monkey kind of things and stealing
I hate
wallets.
it. I hate
That
it
would
all.
be the best. I think isn't Kevin going? Oh no, Kevin's not
No,
going. That's
no,
fine.
he's not.
No, Kevin's at the Hawaii wedding right now.
Yeah.
Y'all
But-
with these fucking weird ass
fuck-
wedding place. You know
I
what I
know.
mean?
It's
It
gonna be
used to
crazy.
be you go down to the fucking 4-H club, you have the wedding, you're done. It's over.
Yeah. The next,
Thanks, Corey.
not next GOG because we're recording that out of order, but the next GOG is going to be me back from my trip, and I'm sure there's going to be stories there.
The thing-
if I survive and I'm not monkey killed.
You're not gonna get monkey killed. You're not going to like a bazaar in Indiana Jones. Like they're not gonna fucking poison
You don't know.
with
You
dates.
don't know.
Am I
So-
not, dude?
Also, monkeys are wild animals. No one knows
There's
what's
so
going on.
much weird shit going on. First off, there was a tsunami that I just read about. That's scary. That happened, and it says scientists don't know why it happened. Like that's not good, specifically in Indonesia.
They'll figure it out.
Sure.
But we're being sent this like warning for people going to Indonesia this week. Like here's things you need to know, and I expected it to kind of be like, I don't know,
Weird worms and shit. Yeah.
exactly like know the shit. The most specific thing, there's some festival happening where they're like, they need to limit the amount of traffic happening. So cars whose license plate ends in an odd number aren't allowed to drive on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Smart.
What the fuck?
Now, are even people off? They don't have to worry, period?
then it
Okay, then it's the
flips.
other day. I want to make sure it was fair.
But like, what the hell? This is the type of shit I'm gonna have to deal with?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you're gonna be fine. First off, because I think your perception of it is going to be a lot different than what it is. They'll have organized government and like administrative facilities, things like that.
Sounds like the
You're
monkeys
not
run
going.
it.
It's not like Congo
and the Monkey
where
Island, the monkeys run it.
no, it's not going to be like that.
Shit, dude.
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of like nice resources, and you're going to
Yeah.
go to a nice hotel and stay there.
The
and it'll
phone
be
calls
good.
I've had don't lead me to believe this, but
It's
we'll
not
see.
gonna. You're not gonna have all the creature comforts of. There's gonna be a Starbucks on every corner for sure, and I'm sure most of your activities will be limited to wherever, like the hotel or whatever planned trips you have. That's like a guided thing.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna be able to drive yourself around.
What if when you get to the Monkey Island for the monkey excursion, they have like monkeys that have jobs, right? So like you get there and the monkeys run up and they get your bags and take them somewhere, and then there are monkeys in like a monkey police car that's like driving around. They're just on top of it.
They're
You
looking
just
for
go and you
people's license
Yeah,
plates
that-
to make sure.
Is that odd or even?
They're like, we had no choice. We had to put the monkeys to work.
There are natural
They
resources.
are a natural resource. It was either fight them or join them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand that.
Does a monkey forest not terrify you guys the way it does me?
Yeah,
like
no,
I get
it's not
scared of
scary.
small dogs. Like these things, they have thumbs.
They're. I think you're gonna be fine.
Well, on
Yeah.
their feet, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the
Really
Really
definition
strong
of
tails
monkeys?
too.
It's a guided excursion.
Is it
right? They're not
monkeys
just
are like this?
I don't know.
Walk into the.
You're
right?
probably going. There's probably going to be a trail you're going to walk through, and that's going to be fine. They have.
But what are the monkeys doing? Just hanging out?
Yeah, they're just out.
Walking
They're
with
on
you
the trees.
In the trees.
You hear them all over the place.
Yeah.
But
One,
here's-
maybe two kids
Have
get
you
scooped
met a
up.
monkey
You're good.
before?
Have I met a monkey before? When I was in Costa Rica, they had monkeys, howling monkeys, in the trees.
Thank you for bringing this up, because I'd like to talk about the differences of 2018 versus 1989, where the Ace Hardware in Carroll Street, no, Wheaton, Illinois, had a fucking monkey in the back of it.
That's super illegal.
in a like the plexiglass thing, and it was just fucking there. What? How? Who was like, you know what I'm saying? We got a hardware store with power tools. Shove a monkey in the back on a fucking tire swing.
To be fair, if you have a choice of that hardware store or like an Ace Hardware, that might be the deciding factor. Is the monkey?
I mean, it worked for sure because my dad knew I didn't give flying fuck about the wood, so he dropped me off with the monkey and go do whatever he needed to do, and I just stared at this poor monkey.
And he
sitting
survived
there.
and became the man he is today.
Super handy, very crafty, builds all the time. My dad used to take me to fucking Home Depot all the time, and there were two things that I did not like doing when I was a kid with my family. One, going to church. Hated it. I was like, I am never more bored than when I'm sitting here listening and I'm in a pod. I'm like, oh my God, this is just, I can't focus on any of this shit. And then number two was my dad was like, why don't we get in the car and go to the Home Depot? And I'm like, why don't I drive a screw through my fucking eyeball?
You nailed it.
I don't want to do this at all. And it didn't help that my brother was super into building shit. And so like his career now is to build shit.
Yeah.
And I'm still the guy that cannot fix a fucking light bulb if my life depended on it. It was the worst.
For me, growing up in the burbs of Chicago, the problem, of course, was when mom and dad would wake up and go, you know what we should do today? Let's go to Farm and Fleet in DeKalb. A 45-minute, 50-minute drive, maybe an hour, depending on traffic around the house. As a kid,
Hell no.
fuck no. And this is before DeKalb, like DeKalb, known, of course, for Cindy Crawford. She's from there. But like now, it's probably modern. They probably have running water. But at the time, this is Hicksville Central, all right, for the kid who just wants to play fucking a Sega Master System. I'm getting drug out to Farm and Fleet, which is what it sounds like, just a giant fucking store for farmers and shit. Now, the one upside is,
pretty cool.
and I will get, Tim, as a master of hype, you'll enjoy this. Around mid-November, Farm and Fleet would close off and wall off a giant section of its store where it would start building the Christmas toy area. There were no toys in Farm and Fleet normally, but again, all these, hey, I'm a farmer motherfuckers, they had to come in and get their shit kids something.
Yeah.
So like there was a huge toy in there that would be pretty cool. So like I didn't mind much end of November, December timeframe going to Farm and Fleet, but the rest sucked. Not to mention, whenever we'd come back in the spring, always a tornado. Always a tornado warning and a thunderstorm.
Yeah, if I heard it once,
terrible.
I heard it twice. You know
I
what
saw-
And I better look at my phone because I have learned my mom watches this and then texts me things and tries to call me during all this stuff.
I saw a store on Instagram. I saw a fire tornado. This
That's
is a real
horrifying.
fucking thing that firefighters have to contend with.
Yeah.
It started in the guy's line. There was two firefighters holding a hose, and the line was up in the fucking air. And the fire tornado.
Wait, what's the line?
Their water line. Their
Oh, they're
hose,
shooting
excuse
water
me.
into the
No,
air.
No, their hose, was being lifted in the air by some fucking demonic force.
Oh, wow.
And then when the smoke cleared a little bit, it was a actual tornado made of fire.
Wow.
And they were like, the hose melted, like the thing just melted the hose and like tried to pull it away from us. And we fought it for a second. And we were like, fuck it, we gotta let it go.
Now, to be fair, I feel like it has
Terrifying.
been a one-sided fight between firefighters and fire for a long
For
time.
a long time. Dude, shout out to just the name firefighters. Is there anything cooler than that? What do you do?
Starscream is the
I
only
fight
cool name.
fires.
Yes.
Yeah, that is cool.
Jeez.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Home Depot story for you.
Here we go, finally.
That's
Back in the day, Kevin's dad would bring us, and it was the same thing. Kevin loved it always. Of
course he did.
Fucking Kevin. It was me, my brother, and Kevin were there, and we were like, I don't know. Let's say I was 6, Kevin was 5, my brother 4.
And we can say whatever we want. He'll never hear
He'll
this.
never know. He'll never know. But we Kevin's mom at some point told us that because we thought we were brothers because we're dumb kids, like all 3 of us. And she's like, no, you're not blood, like you're brothers, but you're not blood brothers. So we
God.
decided.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
We did it.
Stab
We
each other in
fucking
the
did it.
scrotums?
No, we cut ourselves on a saw in Home Depot. And then we like shared blood.
First off, like one of those, like a saw like this or a circular saw?
It was just like a saw disc.
Oh, saw
You know what I
blade.
mean?
Yeah. So
Was it hard to do or was it easy?
I mean, it's pretty easy to cut yourself when you're trying to.
Fair. Makes sense. That checks out. That checks out.
But yeah, that was
Yeah,
a bad
that.
thing. Don't do that, no matter how old you are.
But now you're all blood brothers.
We're all blood brothers. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Legally.
So you have a little bit of Kevin inside
I
you
got
right
a
now.
little bit of Kevin inside me.
yeah, that's it.
Where do
Yeah.
you think it manifests itself the most?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Now I feel like you're a
don't know.
psychologist. Let's get on the couch and talk
Yeah,
about
let's lay down. Tell me about all the things Kevin's done to
Well,
you.
see, Poe hasn't spent enough time with Kevin to really appreciate the magnitude of Kevin Coelho.
It's true.
See, the thing about Kevin that no one really appreciates is that when you first meet him, you're like, he's the
What a
most
lovely human
delightful human being.
A ray of
You-
sunshine.
Look at all the
He's
great.
helpful.
Look at he's very helpful. He's
Yeah.
doing
Yes.
things for me.
Agreed.
You have to work around him for a very long time to get the nuance of Kevin. In that, yes, there still is that side of him, but there's also another side of him that's darker. It's a dark side. He loves fucking with you. He loves fucking with people.
Is that why you sent me to that burrito place?
What did he do?
There we go.
Did you not like Gordos?
I did not like Gordos.
Yeah, see, I'm with you on that one.
I just didn't.
We don't know if it's a joke or not, but Tim swears by
No,
it.
that's where Tim took him. Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if that's a good call. And you were doing San Francisco burritos for Poe forever. So how's that feel? He says Chicago burritos are better. How's that sound?
Much better.
I mean, I'm just gonna.
I'm sorry.
Be quiet here. I can't even.
I'm sorry,
deal
Poe.
with.
Did you say Chicago burritos are much better than Southern California or Northern California burritos? Is that what
That's
you're
the
saying?
thing.
He's saying off Gordos.
Yeah, well, but if you go to Southern California, like I believe that's gonna be better there. But like we have a strong Latino population in the city, so yeah.
I don't believe that.
There's a couple things here. First off, Nick, you like Gordos. Like you can't just jump
I don't.
on this hate
The
train.
thing is this: I don't dislike Gordos, but I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a great taqueria. I think
it
it's
absolutely
run of the mill, middle of the road.
I put a
taqueria.
Gordos next to a Chipotle. Where are you going?
I would go to Chipotle.
Now-
Here's why: fountain beverages.
Now here's the thing, though.
Your Diet Coke.
Here's the thing that's important for everyone. Do you
Gordos might have
beans
fountain
on your
beverage,
burrito?
actually.
I do.
Okay, good.
Oh, he's a normal person,
So
yeah.
you're probably the only normal person at this table when it comes to eating burritos.
Okay.
I can't. Too many carbs. for
Wait,
Nick.
what are you talking about?
Burritos?
When I eat a burrito, I want rice, beans, meat, maybe guac, maybe some cheese in it.
Okay,
That's
okay.
how I want a burrito.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's
Greg
my
Miller,
burrito.
like your burrito judging is like you're not eating burritos if there's not beans.
Hey
Yeah,
man,
you're
if
always
they
putting
can't
fucking
stand
corn in your
without
burritos.
75 of the ingredients in them, they ain't great. You know.
Now that's to be fair, you're right. I have to hold off on my full opinion of Gordos because I've never actually had a burrito there. I've only deconstructed the burrito.
That's
The
my point,
components
dude.
of them though generally dry, and the service there they act like they're putting you out, like you're putting them out. Rather.
What are you talking about?
Hey,
They
man,
have
can I
that
get a
air.
burrito plate?
They have- fuck, man, I was sitting here.
All right, man.
I was standing
listen.
here, like staring at the meat.
I
Do I
don't
have to
wanna
use it
help you
now?
out.
Fuck me.
You've
You've also
you're
only
bad
been
by
to
assistance.
the worst of the Gordos.
Yeah, by the old place.
Still good.
Ninth, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to Violet's last night next to Fiorella, and I saw a Gordos through the window there. In the
Gordos.
Richmond. That's
Yeah.
I think it's your
That's
Richmond.
not my Gordos.
Oh, all right.
There's two in the Richmond that are like within 10 blocks of each other.
Okay.
That one's fine. People like Gordos though, man. It's
Yeah, I
an
know.
institution.
Yeah, they got a problem for sure.
It made the list. It was the 26th best burrito in the world.
Cool, Greg just pointed at me, you bitch.
Wait, so we just cool a Gordos fan? Is that what's happening?
I feel like it's kind of like a Portillo's thing. Where I'm like, there's probably better hot dogs, but fuck it, it's Portillo's. It's fucking the institution. That's what you do. That's where you live.
I don't know. I feel like that's more of the In-N-Out type thing, where like I was really had these high expectations for In-N-Out, and then I got there, I'm like, it's fine. It just didn't blow me away.
I mean, I'm not trying to hype up Gordos. Like Gordos is not like this. Like it's the best burrito you've ever had, but it is definitely a great burrito, and it's like it's renowned in the Bay Area.
La Fonda, any
It's
day,
great.
all day.
It's
Fonda
great,
is
but there's nothing special about it.
No,
That
I would
chorizo
say
burrito.
that. I would say La Fonda's
Ooh-wee.
nothing special. But I mean, that's the thing.
Get the
Like,
chorizo burrito
the Bay
next
Area has a ton of. I would say the same with pizza.
Go to
We've
Mission,
talked
right,
about it
too,
before.
yeah.
A ton of.
It's
just
all better than Taco
serviceable stuff.
Deli. Andy agreed with me from the other
I'm
room.
from the RVGs.
RGB fans.
I'm from the RBG, red, blue, green. We're color coordinated.
Oh, I'm Andy.
I'm wearing the DiGiorno pizza shirt, unironically.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the
Oh,
Game
wow.
Over Greggy show. Each and every
We're
week,
not to that part
4,
yet?
sometimes 5
Jesus
best
Christ.
friends
I
gather
gotta
at
go
this
home.
table. Each bring a random topic to the conversation for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get each and every episode early. How early, Poe?
You can
Pretty
watch
damn
it
early.
right now.
You can be watching it live right now on
Really?
patreon.com/kindafunny. If you miss it then, as we record it live the following Friday, you can get it as a video. You can get it as an MP3. The video comes with the pre and post show that's included with the live show. If you don't want to give us any bucks, no big deal. Head over to youtube.com/kindafunny and podcast services the following Friday, and it's up for free everywhere. Poe, I assume you've never watched this show before.
I've seen it once.
When it started, you're like, all right, what is this? This sucks. I'm out. On this show, I tell a lot of childhood stories about myself. And they try to convince me all the time that I'm weird and that I had a weird childhood and all this shit. Am I a weirdo, Poe?
In a word, yes.
100%.
I mean, when
it.
we're doing stuff together, of course, that's not weird. I mean,
at all, not at
that's
all.
just regular stuff that you're doing. But yeah, there's been certainly moments here. I did
Give
catch
me-
your one episode though before we were talking about like something I never heard about, like chasing some raccoons or something with your grandma.
Oh, yeah, Grandma Miller out front with it. You
I
met
had
Grandma
no
Miller.
idea that was going on.
Yeah.
Dude,
you
let
know.
me ask you this question. If I gave you 3 options, multiple choice, what does Greg Miller's room smell like growing up? A, apples. B, coconut. C, urine that he threw in the back of his dresser.
I need D because it smells always like rotten eggs. Because
whoa. That is true, but it needs to be clarified. It's because we had well water, and the water smelled like
Sulfur. Is there sulfur in it?
Yeah, exactly. We had a water softener. Mom isn't calling, so she clearly isn't watching this episode. We had a water softener, right, that made the water smell like rotten eggs. But I was there. I was in it. I didn't smell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other weird thing that you don't know is weird because you're living your life as a kid in a house. You don't know whatever is that they were so worried about the septic tank. You remember this?
Yep.
You'd wipe your ass with toilet paper, and rather than flush it, you were supposed to toss it in the trash can next to it.
No. Yeah, that's stinky. They do that with old.
Stinky.
They do that with old pipes in like older buildings. Sometimes it's just not good. We have it repiped. What I thought you were gonna say was they were so worried about the septic tank that you had to poop while Jamie Kennedy watched you.
What? Why would that matter?
Don't put that in there.
Don't put that in there.
I don't know.
Weird impression of my mom. And I really struggled to visual of what was happening because you went, is she on like a lifeguard tower in the background?
No, your mom just seems always taller than she is. Like she's got that air about her of authority. Like
You don't call her big old Jamie Kennedy for nothing. You know what I mean? You don't want to cross big old Jamie Kennedy.
It's always a weird thing though when you were a kid where you thought your world would like because I recently visited a friend, Eric. I went over to his house, drop off something, and I hung out with this kid. And I was like, it struck me for the first time that I'm like, your child's world is whatever you choose to show that child.
Yeah.
They don't have a life outside of this house, so they're not socialized for when new people they don't recognize come in. And like Eric's kid, lovely child, but was like, who the fuck is this guy? I don't like him. Who are these people?
All kids get super
Like,
shy,
whatever.
right? When
They're
a new
very
person
shy,
shows up.
right? And Eric was like, just give him 10 minutes. He'll be jumping up and down on you in a second. And sure as hell he was.
You show him some MMA movies?
No. But I put the bug in everyone's ear. I'm like, when your kid's ready to train, you send him to fucking Ra's al Ghul over here. And I'll make sure he can get at least a white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, you know, like, if you wanted to do the real shit, he can't Ra's al Ghul, you know.
what they call that one wrestler who had like the dungeon or something for the training?
The Hart family. The Hart family dungeon. Yeah.
Hart
Stu
family.
Hart. Yeah. Something on the
Have
dungeon.
you met Grandma Miller?
Yes. One time when we were trick or treating, and
Just one time. Wow.
I think so.
Okay.
And that's when we were, hiding out, TPing houses. And,
What were you?
Oh my God.
Trick or treating
this
as?
story.
Yeah. So
No, we weren't trick or treating. Jesus Christ.
pull that mic a little closer to you when you're
Right here?
just come closer to the
real close.
There you
Okay.
go. That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, I just remember that was. I mean, you're gonna have to put some pieces together because it was so long ago. But yeah, trying
All right, I
to.
want to point out, you probably met her in passing at a grandparents' day or something like that.
Sure.
Okay.
We had like some dressed as like some Civil War guy or something, and
Sure.
Grandparents' Day.
Yeah, of course,
show
of
off something
course,
like
of
that.
course.
What the fuck is Grandparents' Day?
It was when, and at St. Petronelle in Glen Ellen, where you would say it's grandparents' day, so your grandparents come to school, and you traditionally have made some kind of shitty arts and crafts thing you give them, and there's speeches you give to them, and it's like...
Man, if I were a
seems
grandparent,
really
I'd be like, I
exclusive.
don't want to go to that. Just bring it home with you.
Well, just
I'm
see,
not spending the whole
honestly, what
day
it
at
really
fucking
seemed
school.
like was a roll of the dice thing. You know what I mean? Like, parent-teacher can be conflict enough, you know what I mean, depending on your situation. But grandparents, like, you're rolling the dice if they're around. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, like it seems like a weird
I forget.
thing.
You didn't
I'm
get
sure
the day
there's a-
off either if they weren't there.
That
you
shit
just
would-
had,
no.
You just had to sit there and be sad that these other people had their grandkids.
Yeah, see, Grandparents' Day would not fly in 2018.
No.
They'd be like,
They
people
still
like,
do it.
I don't believe it. No
Well,
way.
Glen Ellen's a different type of a place now.
Well, you
Still
can't.
got grandmas there?
You can't ostracize someone because they have living grandparents. Like you have to. They're still allowed to celebrate their grandparents. It just.
I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna wait
It
for
just
you.
sucks for you that your
You go
grandparents
pee.
died. My grandma, I
Oh, right,
barely
right,
knew
your
any of
phone
my
call, phone call.
grandparents.
Yeah.
And you know what? Good riddance. That's what
Yeah.
I say. No.
Yeah, who
I don't
needs-
know.
I'll tell you a grandparents' day story. All right. Now, I like having him here. It's a good catalyst for stories I've never
Good
told on
jumping
the
off
show.
point, yeah.
This is honestly, and I don't use regret often. You know what I mean? Biggest regret, didn't wear my retainers. Second biggest regret, I forget it was something stupid also. But this is up there. You know what I mean?
Never using condoms. Never using a single condom? Don't plan on
A
it.
regret I think about often with Grandma Miller, of course, queen of raccoons. It was the fact that you had to make some fucking shitty poem for fucking Grandparents'
Yeah.
Day. You know what I mean? Like, all right, whatever, and then read it in front of the.
Roses are red. I wish you were dead, Grandma.
Jesus fucking Christ! All right, Grandma Miller was a saint. taken before her time.
All right.
Actually, she's like 80 something. She had a good life. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I remember my stupid home ended with something along the lines of, so I'll take you to lunch today. Because like Grandma Miller always took me to lunch. That's what I was talking about with Portillo's and the one my Portillo's that she always took me to. Or even McDonald's, where I forget who it was. I apologize. I tweeted that memory once of Grandma Miller taking me to McDonald's. And someone responded with the most cutting true statement I've ever seen of, did she get the patented old person meal of a coffee and a McFish or fish fillet? And I was like, yeah, Grandma Miller did. Why do all old people get that as their... Anyways. I said, I'll take you to lunch today, right? And I got a round of applause and went over to Grandma, and we went to, and I didn't have any money. Like, why did I say that? I wrote the thing.
She knew you didn't have any money.
But still, I could have just asked Dad or Mom beforehand, give me a 20, I want to do this. I didn't do it. You know what I mean? I got a Yogi Bear wallet with no money in it.
Well, you
look like a fucking
invited
idiot.
her to lunch, and I'm sure
She had to take care of me. Grandparents' Day, I think, was a half day. You know what I mean? Like, she had to take me to lunch.
Let me explain to you. If I had grandchildren and one of them, well, how old are you when this is happening?
4th grade.
You're 4th grade, and the kid says, I'm going to take you to lunch today. I know I'm paying for that lunch. I'm not letting that kid pay for that lunch. That kid brings out $10. I'm like, what do you think this is, fucking 1984? $10 isn't going to get you shit. You need at least $100 to take fucking baller-ass Grandpa Scarpino out. Let's go.
Damn, wow.
You know where we're going? The fucking highbrow cheesecake factory is where I make my grandchildren
You
take
get some
me
Buffalo
out.
Blast?
Fuck you, fuck. Yeah, am I 5'8"? Yeah.
I guess he is.
God, seeing Nick work is just so...
You bet your ass
so
it is.
eventful. I feel like I've been gone for so long from random shit that like we haven't done enough of these shows. Today on the morning show, you just
Nick's on another level
doing
lately.
something special. Just right here, like just trying to see where you were gonna go, and you didn't know.
No.
You had no fucking idea.
The best way to work is
you're
without
just
a net.
like, all right, Daddy or Grandpa or whatever you just said. Yeah, Grandpa Scarpino, $100 dinner, and you're like, I gotta figure it out from there. Where are we going? What are we
I
gonna
knew I
get?
wanted to get
Like,
the Cheesecake Factory with that, but I didn't know how long.
We're fishing for that sponsorship.
I didn't know how long I could hold y'all's attention before I got to the joke, the punchline. And sometimes I like to string it out. But if I've learned one thing from working with Greg Miller is you always work without a net. Always.
Just go, man. What's the worst that can happen?
What do you care where you're going? Just enjoy the ride.
Are you enjoying the ride?
Get in the car, take the e-brake off, and just let it go down the fucking hill. I'm fine, no engine. It's like Commando.
I was up with you until Commando.
Beginning of Commando, they cut his engine, and he goes, fuck. So what does he do? He's a man. He pushes it down the hill himself, and then as the car's serpentining down the hill, his car is going down it, and all he has is brakes. And he bangs one of them off. It's fucking awesome. But he doesn't save Alyssa Milano's character.
one of the defining moments.
The little kid gets cat.
They go to steal Alyssa Milano, and so he can't chase after him. They like cut all of his fucking line. Basically,
Gotcha. Okay,
make
now
sure
I'm
his
caught
car
up.
doesn't work. He says, fuck it, pushes the car.
Is this the one where he throws not this fight, obviously. Later fights where he throws the tube into the guy's chest, let off some steam.
Yeah, let off some steam.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
He also kills a guy with a saw blade.
Blood Brothers.
Right,
There's a lot of things. One of the defining moments of me and Paula's. Well, that sounds right, but will this car turn on?
Yeah.
We'll have to fucking
yeah.
see. And he's like, we're fucking doing it. I'm like, well, what if it doesn't?
Yeah. Then we're just rolling down the hill.
And can you guys just imagine Kevin Coelho, his car is at stick shift or whatever, pulling the car out himself, starting to push it, running alongside
Oh
the
my
thing
God,
to
no.
jump in to then keep going.
Why wouldn't you push it for him, I wonder?
So is Ghost riding the whip?
He was for way too long, and it was Kevin running, which was hilarious. And then he gets in
He's
like the
doing that
last
thing?
second, and then the car turned on. I was like, it fucking worked. I gotta give it to him.
I used to do that all the time with my manual. I used to have manuals. I used to love driving sticks, and you could just for fun, you would jumpstart them by just popping the clutch real quick, and it would pop the engine and go. I don't know how it works, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sight to see for sure. And me and Paul were just standing up there watching this all happen. Then he like drove back and got us, and we had to sit in an hour of shame as we drove back while he was like, "I told you so, you fucking assholes."
And that's literally what he would tell you both.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people closest to him in his life, he would definitely.
I told you so. You guys
fucking
are dumb
assholes,
for not realizing that my car that should probably be.
He'll never hear it.
He probably
Don't
never.
clip it out, you narcs.
Really hammered on.
He probably never fixed that car either. That's probably to the day how he starts that car. You know? Like you just when no one's looking, he goes, all right, here we go. And then pushes it, runs along, like, and just jumps in.
All right, so taking the pin out, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
8th grade, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, we're going
7th
back to the
grade.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I, of course, like Poe, who went to St. Petronell, grade school, junior high. kindergarten through 12th grade.
What colors
No,
were your
That's not right.
uniforms?
Kindergarten through 8th grade. You wore, for a long time, I think they eventually changed this. For a long time, we wore light blue shirts, navy slacks. And I think they started cycling in white shirts.
I think you're
at the
allowed
end.
to wear white, yeah. But I mean, the school colors are like blue and white.
Yeah.
The Chargers.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Like everybody knows
naturally.
that. Like
Yeah.
somebody's really repping the fucking
Exactly.
Chargers. So,
But this is before, but beforehand, like in first grade, my mom teaches there, and I was told that Greg was a bad kid and I shouldn't be hanging around
in
him.
the first grade, mind you, I've done kindergarten
Why?
and maybe half a.
What made Greg a
There's
bad
great
kid?
reason, because he steals IOUs.
Okay, now we're gonna go further back. All right, and
We gotta go back.
First grader
It is first
stealing.
grade. It is first grade, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I am in Miss Young's class. She's a lovely woman. I like this teacher. She's great. She has a smashed tortoise shell of a turtle she had fallen in love with that used to live at this fucking lake or whatever.
But
It
the
got crushed.
turtle's dead now?
Yeah, it's just the
Okay,
shell.
it's just the shell.
One day she went to visit the turtle and it was dead.
Would you
'cause
say it
somebody
was a
crushed.
shell of itself?
I just told you how much I like this teacher, and this is a very sad story for her. Miss Yoon understands that kids just greedy little fucks, and they just want stuff. So she rewards good behavior and good grades with IOUs. That, I don't know, once a quarter, once every month maybe, she brings out all variety of shitty flea market crap she has of like
Except a huge bag, like trash bag full of candy. Which is
candy and like we're a Catholic school, so crosses on necklaces and like shit and blah blah. And like you can, it's like a bazaar, right, where you're trading in your IOUs or whatever. Greg Miller, not the best student, sure. You know what I mean? Does he like going to school? No, he wants to draw his comics and be left alone. But there was a kid that went to school named Gary, very good at school. Not like I'm not popular. I'm popular, right? I'm popular in first grade. You say? No, I'm socially there.
Nobody's really
You know, I'm
popular.
doing socially
there,
there.
Greg Miller.
I
Gary a
was
bit more
breathing.
isolated. Gary a bit more isolated.
Sometimes he pretend to be an airplane, you know?
Well, who wouldn't?
Gary?
No, me. Oh, Gary? I don't know. That sounds like a Greg
Gary
story.
would, yeah.
We're all having a good time. It's first grade, whatever. I got up and turned in my goddamn crayon essay or whatever the shit they had me doing. And as I walk back to my desk, I see Gary leaning over his desk explaining
being an
something
airplane.
else. Probably being an airplane. Leaning over his desk, something else. And I look down and I see a giant wad of IOUs in his desk, unprotected. And so I decide to teach Gary a lesson about being an adult.
Yeah.
And take the IOUs
Yeah.
in what is traditionally called a crime of opportunity.
Yeah.
Where you don't have time to think about what should I or shouldn't I.
Yeah.
You just fucking took them.
not to be confused with a premeditated crime or a crime of passion.
Thank you very much.
There you
Thank you
go.
very much. This is why you're my lawyer.
Yeah.
So then I go back and sit down at my desk with this newfound amount of IOUs. There's so many IOUs. You know what I mean? IOUs I never should have or whatever. And so I would like to say I gave it a few days, but probably that day began bragging about how many IOUs I had. I had so many IOUs.
Smart. Get out in front of it.
In your head, you're probably like, I got to make sure the narrative is people know that I have these IOUs.
Because
So
at some point, what's his name? Timmy? What the hell is
Gary.
Gary? Gary's gonna start complaining when he realizes all of like. So you gotta build that backstory now. Like, no, I've been accumulating these for years.
You didn't see me answering all these questions and doing all the assignments?
Oh,
That's
man,
fucked up.
I'm knocked out of the park with my
Now
G average.
again, as I'm bragging about these IOUs, I'm bragging to Gary.
Why would you brag to Gary? He's the one person you shouldn't brag to.
Because I'm Greg and I'm thinking all IOUs are the same. How
Yeah.
could you possibly identify these IOUs?
First grader.
To which Gary says, well, I drew designs on my IOUs. Those are my designs.
Yeah.
To which I'm like, the jig is up.
Yeah.
And
gotta
I
cop
see
to
him
this.
go to the teacher. Oh, you wish that was my house. Oh, you wish that was my house. Gary goes and tells the teacher, and then it's like lunchtime or whatever. So we go to lunch, and I'm like, I need to formulate a plan to get out of this. How do I get out of this?
Burn the IOUs.
I'll tell you exactly what I did. What people used to love to do in first grade. Bored as shit in this fucking parking lot they let you go play in, right? They had bike racks. And what kids would do is hold on to the bike racks and then fall backwards and your butt hits the bike rack, but it's kind of it's like a reverse swing, we'll call it, right? You follow me, Tim?
No.
Hold on to the bike rack bar. You sit on the bike rack bar and balance yourself. And then you swing yourself backwards,
Oh,
holding
okay.
on to the bar
Yeah.
so your butt slams into the bike rack bars.
Got it.
I was like, I'm going to hurt myself. So I get on the bike rack bars, swing down, let go, slam on the ground, take my first bump, backyard wrestling bump. You know what I mean?
Gotta do it.
It doesn't hurt that bad, but oh man, I'm rolling around out there.
Wailing.
I'm selling like I'm Mick
Like The
Foley.
Rock.
I'm rolling around out there. Yeah. Get sent to the nurse. They inspect me. They're like, you're probably pretty okay. I'm like, fuck, I've played my hand and I've lost. To which I'm sent back to the school and I
You're probably pretty okay.
immediately called out. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, you see all these IUs and I stole these IUs. You know what I
So, a couple questions on
mean?
this, if I may.
Please. Yeah, please.
Your first instinct was, I'll hurt myself. Not a bad plan.
Thank you.
Were you assuming you were going to hurt yourself so badly that you would never have to go back to class for the rest of the school
The
year?
assumption was this will blow over.
Okay. So you figured, hurt myself long enough for 2-3 days to pass.
No,
and then by
no,
the
just
time
a
I get
day.
back- just a
If
day.
I hurt myself in a spectacular fashion, what kind of heartless bitch could hold me accountable for something I did
yeah.
before? You know what I mean? Clearly, I'm some kind of daredevil. Maybe I can play the thing of like, oh, fuck, I got amnesia. I don't even know. Did I take IVs? I thought I had those. Oh, my bad. My bad. Must have dropped them and got them.
And so your mom heard this story.
Yeah,
It was
who
passed
works
around.
there.
How much trouble did you get
yeah.
in for this?
You know.
That one wasn't terrible.
Okay.
Miss Yon, obviously, I mean, she got bigger fish to fry or whatever. She definitely told mom, who I believe I begged to not tell my father. I think she definitely did, but I don't think my dad ever really talked to me about it. And then the next time when I stole a Ninja Turtle from my cousin, and that's when I really got the business. That's when they took all the comics. They're like, no more
Yeah.
comics. Like,
Yeah, you gotta be-
I won't steal again.
You gotta
Fucking
learn,
Gary
man.
and my cousin.
The more I think about it, just you as a first grader, of course my mom wouldn't want me hanging out with you. You're diabolical at first grade as you're putting all the pieces together of what to do to try and get away with this type of thing. I mean, that's crazy.
Some would say I had initiative.
Some would.
Some would.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Cool Greg.
So I'm not supposed to hang out with Greg, but then it was later I'm like, oh no, it's not Greg. Greg's not a problem. Like it's these other kids that are a problem. Like, I won't hang out with them. I'll just hang out with Greg.
But,
And then I got-
scary
but
kid.
did you know that it was in fact Greg that was the problem? Okay. Just double checking. So
Halloween.
you were actually in sort of a roundabout way.
We're 7 years from the Halloween story, Tim.
I just want to clarify. So in a roundabout way, just for the sake of putting this to bed,
Sure.
your mother was in fact correct. Because by hanging out with Greg, you were forced to lie to her just to hang out with him, which thus proving the point that he was a bad egg.
Sounds correct.
Okay. Thank you. We can move on to Halloween now. I rest my case, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll jump to Halloween then. All right, we'll skip a whole bunch of great years, and I'm sure we'll get to in a little bit. But what I want you to know is, believe it or not, some kids are mean. And I know this is an unprecedented statement to say. And so I do not embellish. I'm sorry, yes.
Are you going to be the mean kid?
No,
in this
I'm not
story?
going to get in this story. I'm sure Poe will tell you many other stories. Like, I was the
just
mean
double
kid.
check. I can't
in
think of
this
those.
story,
Heartbreaking.
I lived in, unincorporated Glen, whatever, shout out. And I would ride my bike to school in my uniform, of course. At which point I would pass a bus stop in the neighborhood filled with all the kids who don't go to the private school. You're just going to, regular old school or whatever. At which point, and I shit you not, these kids would throw rocks at me. And like call you, hey, Christian boy. Or whatever. I'm like, I'm just going to school, man. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. And so, like sometimes, like, my mom would like drive next to me and like give them the evil eye or whatever. You know what I mean?
Your mom's intimidating.
She is, of course.
She's scary.
Well, then they still do it later on or whatever. And so my grand plan to get back at these kids was that on Halloween night, we would go and silly string in TP houses. Their houses in particular, not just anybody's houses. These people's houses. A coordinated strike, some would call it. You know what I mean? Operation Rolling Thunder.
This
you know
was
what I mean?
premeditated.
Shocking.
This one was a premeditated thing. Even though I'm
He's
not
grown.
sure. I'm not sure if silly string is a crime. You know what I mean? It really just washes off.
we had no
unless you
eggs.
put it on
We
a card.
just went
We had
through
no
this.
eggs or
No
anything.
eggs, no eggs,
Yeah.
no eggs, no eggs, no
Spider-Man.
eggs, no eggs.
It is a crime.
So
It's
yeah,
graffiti.
we went out and we did that for a while, and it's in the dead of the night. You know what I mean? We're doing all this stuff. We're talking about those things, and yeah, I remember starting at the one girl's house around the curve, and then we had done a bunch of others, and then yeah, we somehow got I lived like a block from Grandma Miller. She lived like 1 block away or whatever, and we got down to her street and we're working on somebody's house. And what happened? You got to fill me in there. I forget that part.
I remember like there were moments we were kind of like hiding in like kind of like these ditches that existed, and then at some point I thought we were I was tagging that, or hitting a car with graffiti or something like that, or the spray paint, that type of thing.
No. The silly string.
The silly string. Sorry.
You made it sound so bad.
I was killing
I was trying to think of the right term. Definitely wrong. Yeah,
I was killing a homeless person.
The silly string, and then I think like the car drove by, and there was the sheriff's office because you're unincorporated,
right?
Which meant there was like one.
That means they can
cop
shoot on sight.
Who can one cop who can come to that community because it's just out in the middle of nowhere and it takes forever. Which of course then you and me run, and we're in some like back trees, woods area, you know, surrounded by power lines, and it was
that's behind Grandma Miller's house.
Yeah. So yeah, that was.
And then we ran to Grandma Miller's house eventually because it was on that block, and it was like one of those movies where we could see the cop car coming and using that like searchlight on the lawns, and it was like, Grandma Miller, open the door! Grandma Miller, open the door! And then you can see my grandma get up, like, I'm coming, thinking it's like trick or treaters or whatever, and like struggling. The lights getting closer, and she's like, Gregory, I'm like, but hey, we all just like ran in, slammed the door behind us, and like the blinds are shaking back on for it.
And classic Greg, as he's looking out the window, he's just like, yeah, so things are going good out there, like candy, Like,
how's Halloween going in here? It's like 9:30 at night or whatever. She's like ready for bed.
That was a good moment.
We dodged it though. I didn't get arrested.
So Grandma Miller didn't see the cop car like in typical fashion, like shine the light in the
Grandma Miller
window.
once drove out of Portillo's and went the wrong way on a one-way road. So I don't know if we're gonna sit here and like talk about Grandma Miller's mental facilities in terms of being able to paste together all these out-of-breath nerds with like, hey, you got a lot of candy in there because it looks like toilet paper and silly string. No, we're fine, Grandma. How you doing?
We had probably zero candy.
Oh yeah, no, we never did any trick or treating. Again, never covered your tracks. That's what it's all about.
So you guys never actually trick or treated? You just went and fucked up people's houses?
Well, I mean, again, we didn't really fuck them up. It was like the most like toilet paper. This will be annoying.
Yep. So, did the kids ever seek retribution against these the fucking wet bandits here? Or?
I'm sure those kids never put it together. What the fuck happened? It was such a stupid like. This is just a move for me.
Yeah.
That was into that. You know what I mean?
Feel bad about yourself.
They threw rocks at you. They called you Christian boy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that is
kids are mean.
not okay.
Yeah.
Kids, that's like a new level of mean, though.
Yeah, that's.
And I was like,
that's
actually, it's Catholic boy.
At least they,
what else you got? What's the worst thing I've ever done?
I don't know if I can go with that off the top of my head. I was just wondering if you.
Are you about to break out a list?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, Jesus God! I did not prep him for this. Cool, Greg. Can I have more beer?
What do you call it? I have the GTA incident after school. Have you ever talked about the?
I don't know if I remember the GTA incident.
Well, basically,
after
it's
school.
what I'm going to call it right now. But when we hopped in the big red machine and you decided to race Nick behind the target.
Have I ever told that? Where I lost my hubcap?
I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead.
No. So you hop in the car and this kid Nick comes up next to him and he like revs his engine or whatever, and Greg's like, it's go time. And then like we hop onto the street and like we start,
So I'm driving a Ford Taurus.
Yes.
A 1994
Ford Taurus.
Ford
The beginning
Taurus.
of Tokyo Drift.
You know what? In many ways it was. Post shotgun. Nick, you always told me he used to race. I can't confirm or deny this story. He used to race this truck he had. So he had a truck that actually was good, apparently. He had a girl named Sarah next to him that, he had a carpool. Yeah. Fucking like our junior and senior, maybe even sophomore year. They're like, oh, if you want to park on campus, now you got to carpool with people. We're like, this sucks. But so it was all these weird pairings, not us. I eventually drove this one girl that I never spoke to, which was really awkward. Doesn't matter. We leave, and there's we went to St. Francis High School. What up, Spartans? And there's a Target across the street. Now there's a bunch of shit there. Yeah. But there was a Target, and then there was this one road that went behind the Target and around and out to the street we needed. So we exited high school, and then I was going, Nick was behind me. Nick pulled up next to me in the wrong lane of traffic now, but it's like nobody comes on this road, and revved his engine and took off. And Poe looked at me, and I had already floored it. But of course, I'm in a 1994 Ford Taurus, which meant Poe and I made eye contact for a long time, and then the car finally kicked in, and we went. And so we were going. And again, to show the stupidity of a high schooler, not me. This is a fine decision on my part. Poe is not wearing a seatbelt at all. Wear your seatbelts. You should have known I was up to shenanigans. I'm Greg Miller. You know what I mean?
I'm okay.
We called it the Big Red Machine because I had a cane mask in the back too. That was just water. I'm going and now gaining on Nick, and I'm getting close to Nick. I'm nipping at his heels.
A lot of people don't know. Awesome power of the Ford Taurus was that it really didn't kick in.
And the cane mask in the back. That's why we called it the Big Red Machine, because it was a red car.
You really had to get those cars up to about 8,500 RPM
to really know what they could do.
To really get them into that higher.
So I feel like I get in spitting distance of Nick, which puts the fear of God in him. And that's when he just finds a new gear that the Taurus doesn't have, and he takes off. However, I'm going. I'm still going to give it the old college try. Again, we're still flooring. And we're just getting enough of these bumps where we get the Taurus up off the ground. All four wheels
Ferris
are
Bueller
now
shit.
Excellent for the suspension and the
And
floor
it's,
of that.
it's like a turned road. So like this road has a
man.
natural turn to it constantly. So you're kind of like behind the target, like you're looping behind it. So that you are on an angle. And there was that moment where you floored it, and I was just like, I didn't realize he floored it, and I thought it was just over because Nick's truck pulled away. I'm like, oh, this is not going to happen.
But then
I didn't
that
realize
V8
he had
kicked in.
floored it. So all of a sudden we just kind of like waited a second or two and then took off. I'm like, why are we
Like
going
light
now?
Light speed. Yeah, exactly. But when we get up into the air, I decide, it's curving. I need to adjust. I need to turn.
That's not smart.
I need to turn.
That's not smart.
And so as we reconnect with the ground, it's slow motion. We do the 360 spin of the car spinning, and
No handle.
It's
No
one of those
handle
things,
back
as
then.
time slows down, what I see is Poe in the passenger seat looking for the handle, and it's just this. Like he's pawing all over the wall as we like spin around. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill us right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip the car, and my dad is gonna kill me if we survive this thing.
Yeah.
But we spin once, hit the curb. The rear wheels hit the curb. Slam into it. I slam on the brakes. We stop. And I
what
look
you
at
said?
Poe. Yeah, I look at Poe and I go, this was awesome. Let's never speak of it again. And again, I go to punch the gas to get us out of there. And by the grace of God, even though I could have easily lied about this, but in the moment you're not thinking. By the grace of God, in the rear view mirror, I see my hubcap perfectly situated against a tree. Because I had hit the curb so hard, I had thrown my hubcaps. So I'm like, fuck. So we pull into that apartment complex. We jump out. I get the hubcaps, shove them back on. And as we're getting back in the car, Nick came back. And he rolls down his window. And what does he say?
Oh, that was when, like, couldn't believe we were alive type thing. And then it was just like, I can't believe how many times you guys went around.
Yeah, and it was he came back and he's like, I wouldn't have come back for you. Sarah told me to.
Yes,
The girl told me to. And we're like, all right, we're fine. Don't worry. We drive the car back home. We park it. And my dad, of course, I fear my father. You know what I mean? Again, just being a disappointment in general to him. But the fact that he like
The man
when we
works
used-
with cranes.
When we used to backyard wrestle, he'd get mad. Not that we were hurting each other, that we were tearing up the lawn or whatever, right? And so like I parked the car, and like when we got out of the car and shut the door, I'm like, I smell burning rubber.
Yes.
And I can't smell well. So the fact that I can smell the tires burning,
And that
that's
was
bad.
20 minutes away. So we drove for 20 minutes. You could still smell the burning rubber.
We got inside the house. We were just chilling, or whatever, hanging out and playing a game or something. And then we heard, and Dad came in, parked in the garage, went back out and got the mail. And on the walk back, it was just that thing where he's walking and he stops and looks at the car, and then he walks. And I'm like, how the fuck does he know? How the fuck can he sense any? And he walked over something to pick up a leaf or whatever. And it was just like, oh, thank God. And so yeah, the next day in school, you had class with Nick.
Yeah.
And you were like, man, it was just so crazy. We went around once. And Nick's like, you went around like 5 times. And you're like, really? We don't remember. And we went back and drove, and there's just like all these, like, it looks like donuts on purpose,
Yes.
but in reality, it
Oh,
was
you
just-
thought you'd only spun once.
we
One
thought we spun
spun,
once and
yeah.
hit, and in reality, it went like,
What first off, and I realize you guys were kids in this,
Sure.
but I'm going to just, if I may, render a small critique against Nick. You guys could have died.
Yeah.
Correct.
And he wasn't going to come back.
He
and
said
check
in
on
racing,
you.
He said in racing, if there's an accident, you just keep going because you don't want to be held responsible. You just
know
get
what?
out of there.
That checks out.
Nick knows.
That checks out.
And Nick right now,
rules.
president of the United States. I don't know where Nick is.
Vin
I don't know.
Diesel.
I don't know what happened.
That's
Vin Diesel.
Dude, we used to do shit like that all the time, though. Like, I don't know what it was about.
You're a kid. You're an idiot kid.
You have a machine, a big toy at your disposal, and you're like, I want to see how fast this thing can go. I used to all the time. With my buddy Stu, of course. Seeing him this weekend for
Really
the
cool
high school
vids.
union. Really cool vids. Always into fast cars. And so it would just be like, engage. Every time anything.
Sure.
And there were people that I guess his car would give off a certain vibe that when someone came next to him on the freeway was the I'm going to race you vibe.
Yeah.
And they would just race. And I'm like, wow, this is so fun. But if you stop to think about it for a second, this is so unbelievably
So stupid.
unsafe.
So bad.
Stupid and so dumb.
I always think about the time when we were in the prank war with the girls.
Yes.
I don't know if I forget if I talked about the prank war in general. There was we had and this is not putting anybody down, but we had our group of guys, and then we had the group of girls that like, so it was like the chipmunks and the chipettes, like, you know what I mean, of like, oh, they have their thing going on, we have our thing going on. That's really cool.
Do you remember the best one where we're just doing this? We're sitting in Greg's basement going like this, and how close can I get to you without hitting? And Greg's doing the same thing back at me, and we're just doing this back and forth, and Greg just goes, "What what the girls are doing?"
I was like, what are the girls are doing right now? Because it was 20 minutes of us morons extending
how
out
close
your
can you
hand
get?
and like, how close do we get to each other without pushing each other? And it was a whole fucking group of us down there being fucking idiots. Wonder what the girls are up to right now. It's hard to believe we weren't better successes in the romance department.
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
prank
tough
war.
one.
The prank war was innocent up until a point, and then we took it too far.
Whoa, sorry, let's back up. Who's we in this?
Me, Poe, Noonan, Faf, and Camps were like part of it. They were always the rotating cast of characters or whatever it was, and then it was the girls. And so there was one, I forget what instigated, how we started the prank war. I remember one of the first ones being that we were going to go meet them for the movies or something at somebody's house or some shit like that. And we drove over, I think it was Rachel's house. And we got there, or maybe Colleen's, and whatever. Got there and we were out front and they pulled up next to us. And you were in passenger seat and you went like this to roll down the window. And I had a super soaker and you went like this. And they rolled down their window and they're like, what's up, guys? And I just went, and we just blasted them from our car into their face. Like, ah! They're drunk.
It's the great moment of
roll down your window. Yeah. And so that was funny. We had done something else. And then it was that, all the guys were at my house, and it was dead of winter one night. It was like during Christmas break. And we were downstairs playing games or whatever, and somebody finally noticed that the girls were outside fucking with our cars.
Oh, yeah.
And like we opened up the door, and they saw it, and they got in their car, and they drove off, and we ran and jumped into my Taurus, where they had taken panty liners and put them all over the car.
Yeah, naturally.
And without caring about the panty liners, jumped in the car. We all got in the car, fucking gun, and just started chasing them. And we're chasing them through our neighborhood in the dead of winter, in the dead of night, unincorporated, not well lit.
Yeah.
And there was a time where over by Spalding, they got ahead of us and got out, and we turned the corner, and I put on classical music, and I had to have been doing 85 in this like fucking town, like this little, like anybody, like kid playing with a ball is gonna get fucking destroyed. But we're just driving through the snow and ice like an asshole doing this or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we took
what were you going to do when you caught up with them?
I don't remember.
Just beat the shit out of them?
No, that wasn't it. We were going to do something fun, but we didn't know.
Yeah, but I think it's like, like a dog when you're like running after something.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what we're going to do when we get there.
We're going to scare them off for
That's
sure.
so fun.
And then, then when we took it too far is that I thought it'd be hilarious to get sardines and put them in the mailbox. And I did it, of course, on a Saturday night. Put it in one of their mailboxes and shut it. And they're like, all right, well, my parents don't like the sardines in the mailbox. I'm like, that's fair.
That's not that bad, though. That's like when you ever have a prank war, it's going to go fish at some point. You're going to go fish at some point.
Or we did the, with Noonan's car, we ended up putting the shaving cream on the car. I don't know if that's come up. And then it never occurred to us that shaving cream can take the paint off a car.
No one knew.
Paint.
How do we know?
My buddy Stu's sister used to drive the car that he eventually inherited, so I never got to hear the end of this. But she used to drive this it was like an '87 Jetta. Yeah, cool car. Like actually a nice, like well maintained. But she always kept it really dirty. I know that used to bug Stu because Stu's like, if you know Stu, he keeps his car just immaculate. Like he's got one of the chamois in the back, so every day he gets out like chamois the things. Just any little dust, it's gone.
Wow.
And then he still does that to this day. So I thought it'd be hilarious if I wrote in the dust terrible things, not realizing that I was in fact etching that into the top layer of the clear coat of the paint because of I don't know why. Why would you even think that was going to be the case? And like even when they sold the car, I could see faint hints of the stupid shit. Yeah, I mean it was like dry dicks and like you didn't know, like wash me. Or,
you learn all this the hard way because it was the same thing of like because again I think we have told the story, so I'll tell it in a British version. But it was the fact that Noonan, of course, had a girlfriend and none of us did, so we're like whatever. So when Noonan's like, we're gonna go out to a movie night, I can't hang out. Our hangout became let's fuck with Noonan and film it. The fucking VHS tapes I have of this shit, right?
Jeez,
and so the first time was that he was at his house. We went and we shaving creamed on his car like messages. And you remember, of course, at the Julasco where we were buying the shaving cream, we almost bought silly string. But the conversation was, well, silly string might hurt the car. Like, we know shaving cream you put on your face. How could it hurt you? It's not gonna hurt anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did it on the car there, to which was met with, what a bunch of morons. They wiped it off because it happened in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? They didn't expect us to be so bored in the suburbs of Chicago that we would follow them to the movie theater. And when I say follow them, I mean that they went to the movies 20 minutes on us. We got there. It was AMC Cantera 20, so there's 20 screens. It's huge. It's a giant sprawling.
Massive.
Where did they park? We'll find out. And we just drove.
We got nothing but
around
time. Nothing but time. We got time on our side.
We just drove
5 hours later.
We drove around the parking lot till we found the car.
That's it. That's fucking good.
That's good.
Then we just fucking shaving cream the shit out of that.
Him the second
we
time.
went home and watched ECW or whatever the fuck on CW, or not even CW.
Pretty
the U.
proud of ourselves.
Feeling great. And then we got a phone call from Noonan that was him fucking livid. And we're like, I don't understand. Why are you mad? And he's like, because it takes fucking paint off a car, you idiots. That's a good reason to be mad.
Our friend Ken, who knew that, was not with us that night.
That was the one that he wasn't with us.
Everything fell into place where it was
I think
just
Faf
like,
wasn't either.
Yeah,
like, it was just all the smart guys, all the car guys weren't there. And so then, I always say I believe in God. Too many coincidences, right? Car totaled the next week. We didn't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually dodged a bullet on that one.
What else is on your list?
Those were the main things. I mean, I think they want to talk some backyard wrestling. So
Yeah, that was my thing. I was asking Poe, like, was he a part of that? And he said,
Oh my God, Poe is a founding member of the BYWF.
And then Nick went, "What was your name?" And he goes, "Poe."
He said Poe.
Oh, I like how he blocked out the maid part of it.
Then I brought up Fabulous Gula.
So let's go back to the fucking third grade, wherever it was.
Oh, yeah.
Poe goes to a sleepover. I wasn't invited. I wasn't part of this clique yet. Eventually, we'd be friends. And you
You were a bad kid.
But no, well, yeah, probably actually. That probably does have something to do with it. I was just a weirdo too, obviously. Poe goes to a sleepover, and everybody's horsing around and having fun or whatever, and you know how boys wrestling around and are assholes. Eventually, they're wrestling around, and they've pinned Poe. It's over for Poe. And what Poe decides is, nothing's over till I say it is over, and bites the kid's foot. To which they begin calling him Gula. They call him Gula because that was like a monkey's name they thought or something.
Something like that.
Somehow there was some relation at that time. Gula. So Gula goes to be this on-running Poe nickname forever, long before Poe. Poe was until high school when people started calling you Poe.
Correct.
But it, like similar to Cool Greg and all that shit.
Yep.
So he's Gula if you want to call him a nickname, right? So it's just that forever and ever and ever and ever. So when we start backyard wrestling, it was very much he was already Poe, but the problem was it was clicks again.
Okay.
What do you got? What do you got?
For clarity's sake.
Yeah.
And I apologize.
No,
for this.
I want to make
sure.
sure what these jocks are calling. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be part of that. You're Gula. You're still Gula. And so when we start backyard wrestling, Poe starts
I'm
as
around the cool kids now. Why did I have to bring my
Trust
dorky
me.
kid?
Trust me, no one was cool at our school. But Poe, when we start backyard wrestling, Poe's first character is the Fabulous Gula.
Which I had no idea was related to what the Fabulous
Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah.
Cool Greg knows Moolah, the Fabulous Moolah. Yeah, of course, right.
Lady.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she is a pretty lady. WWE superstar. Passed before her time.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
unfortunate.
Well, not really. Again, I think she was like 90 years. Doesn't matter.
One of the greats.
So he's Fabulous Gula, which is a fine moniker and a fine nickname.
Coming out to Rob Zombie.
Not yet, were you?
Yeah.
Did Fabulous Gula come
Yeah.
out?
Which Rob Zombie song?
Dracula?
More human than human.
Because it had a good entrance, right? Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember, you remember how that started, right?
Yeah. Totally.
I had to wait
Totally. And that's it. Yeah, do you remember the song, the opening of this, where the woman's like orgasming or whatever? And again, now we're not going to name any names here at all.
Correct.
I want you to know this is why I'm so thankful that YouTube wasn't like this wasn't happening now, because we've looked into how do we digitize these tapes, how do we put them online, and again, all our storylines were based on Poe's seeing this girl or that's happening that, and it's like we were naming people from school, and I can only imagine our high school being like, oh, that's cool, the guys are, what the fuck are they talking shit about me? Like, you know what I mean? Like the stupid storylines we would do.
Would have been huge. You guys would
So
have been huge.
the Fabulous Gulas like claim to fame is in the first ever BYWF episode 1, where we're like, is this going to take off? Will anything interesting ever happen? Poe picked up my old Chicago Bulls trash can, and I'm not sure you're old enough, but I'm not sure if you remember those metal trash cans you'd get that have teams on the sides.
No.
You can get like
No.
a Foot Locker or something like that. They'd have a whole.
Small?
Yeah, they were small ass like cylinder, like imagine a coffee can that went all the way up. Kind of
Sure. Yeah.
Right? I had one of these, and like, so we didn't use it, so I was like, all right, it's going out into the backyard wrestling thing. Poe like hit Jay over the head with it or whatever, and like, so it was crumpled in the side, and Poe took off in a full sprint. And to this day, you can watch the footage. I have no idea what Poe's move was going to be when he got to the end of this 40-yard dash with the can, but we don't need to ever know, because what happened is the can dropped and tripped up Poe. He then fell and caught all of his weight on the metal edge of the can on the ground. And like, it didn't bend. Like it just went gunk, and he was like, gunk. So full run into a dead stop tree stump, basically into your chest. And he rolled off the can. And I forget if I'm in the match or commentating on the match or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, Jay was. You're running after
Jay,
me or Mike
yeah.
or whatever. And so the camera comes over and like, oh man, the Fabulous Ghoul is down. And they pan to Poe. And then like the saddest thing you'll ever hear, he goes, Jay.
Well, first off, I'm struggling to breathe. And I'm reaching up, like begging for help because the wind is knocked out of me. And I'm like, And as Jay turns the camera, you can still hear it. Jay, it's just the last thing, the only thing. And it's like, I could spit out.
BYWF was always great until that moment when you were like, I'm a kid and I'm hurt and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that was it was our first time. It was our main event of the first thing we ever did. And sure enough, it was our first time of and it was like not part of a bit, like fucking help me. And Jay just turns the camera back to the action and goes to investigate. And Poe's laid out forever. And eventually Gula gets up or whatever, and he's done with this shit. He has a trash can, and it's no more like fun. It's like bam, throw the trash can at somebody's head. He's fucking mad at everybody. Great times.
Oh my god.
So you guys, so the idea, like, did you have a ring?
No.
Was there a ring? So it was mostly just, we're in the backyard, we're gonna beat the shit out of each other, and someone's gonna film it, and then we're gonna watch this back try to get laid.
You're jumping to a lot of different conclusions there. It was in the front yard. The backyard was saved for pay-per-views. And what I would do is go to Walmart and I would buy plastic tablecloths and spray paint. And I would spray paint BYWF and I'm hanging my mom's clothesline and we'd actually have like an intro thing. But no, matches would just rain fucking chaos
Just wherever they needed to go.
all over.
Did you guys go back and re-watch those afterward? Were you like,
oh my
okay,
god,
let's get
yeah,
it?
as soon as it was over, right? Because
you
it's
could
like,
just watch
keep in
what
mind,
happened.
like none of us understood editing, and it was like way too hard in my.
Oh no, you wouldn't have been able to do it back then. You would have had to do
because I
tape to
did like
tape
I
editing.
remember like the French projects I would do where I did have 2 VCRs and I'd be
Ooh,
like
and Bubba?
fucking hot swapping shit and pausing, and there'd still be like gray shit, but there'd be soundtracks, and I was
Yeah.
like so impressed that I could figure it out. But BYWF, it was like, all right, cool, we filmed that match. All right, Mike's gonna cut a promo. Let's go to the basement. Cut a promo. All right, cool. Now this is gonna happen.
My go-to BYWF move was to climb a ladder to the top and then try to jump as far as I could, which every single time the ladder would fall out and I would just fall straight down into the ground. But I get like...
We never thought of like, well, someone should just go hold the ladder. Because Poe's always like, I got it. I got this figured out. I'll figure it out this time. And no, Poe would climb up the ladder and then try to frog splash and go.
And I get
2
like,
inches.
I get that much of you.
Yeah.
Like, I got him. Like,
Yeah.
How did anyone get seriously injured during this?
I remember when you lit the box on fire and I got burned a
You
bit.
got burned. You did get burned.
You're like, hey, your shirt. We're just gonna douse your shirt.
Now, first
Like,
off,
that'd be-
for the record, I want to very clear on this record. I was never one of those people. I filmed it, sure, but I was never like, oh, we'll douse you with water and everything's gonna be fine. I was like, that seems like a fucking thing, but you want it because so what happened is. Gula never beat me. Gula just was
Yeah.
like a punching bag.
Yes.
Nothing ever happened. The character made no sense. It was Poe, and it was like he had a hat that he would reference. It was just like, this character sucks. And so finally Poe was like, I want to come back and I want to be Poe. And it was we killed Gula. I forget how we killed Gula,
Yeah.
but there was definitely we killed him. And then Poe came back, and Poe the character in BYWF, not Poe the person, even though he's very high energy too, was supposed to be this high energy nonstop thing. And what it was is he was the only entrance music. Even if you're the champion, Poe would come out last because his song was Crazy Train and it would play the entire match. And so like it was high tempo, high off. We were like a Hardy Boy, right? Where we talk about it like your finishing move, or one of them was Rolling Ponder, where you do like the rolling thing and then roll over. Cool Greg's in love with this segment.
This is the best. I gotta go to the bathroom, but I want to keep here.
What?
Talk louder.
What open door bathroom policy? We did it where it was like used to do the what was Spike Dudley's finisher where he'd run off the thing and do that.
yeah, I don't know what it
I
is
forget
off
what
the
it was
top of
really
my head,
called.
but yeah,
What do we call it? I forget we had a name
Crazy
for
Train.
that. Crazy
Yeah,
Train.
the Crazy Train.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
you
yeah.
grabbed it by ear, run up the barricades we
Yeah,
had,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like which are what would you describe them as? The construction.
Yeah, so like one time I was driving by a construction site that nobody was manning, and I saw those fucking construction things with the flashing yellow
Yeah.
light. Stole those motherfuckers.
For
To
illegal-
which my dad was like, "This
No.
is super illegal," but he never stopped us. Also similar to when I've never abducted a child. But I imagine it would have gone like this, Tim, where we rolled up in, I think, Mike's mom's van to a Walmart, hung out at the Walmart, looking around, you know what I mean? And then finally, like,
I
it's
was
as
not
good
there
as
for
it's
this.
going to get. Threw open the van door. 4 or 5 guys pile out, grab a Walmart shopping cart, toss it into the van, slam the door, and they're just like, peel out. No one will notice this. This doesn't look great. We went and stole so much stupid shit for this fucking thing. So yeah, you
Which now
do.
legally will say was donated to us.
Whatever. If you want to come for me, DuPage County, I will gladly cut you a
at me.
check. And I don't even know, is that how it would come get me? Well, I think Walmart would. And I worked there. Come on now. Yeah, you would. And we eventually put it all back. That was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Is that we did all go put it back. In the construction thing, like it said, I forget who it was,
Yep.
but we definitely found a construction site one day and we're like, Thank you.
Here's the thing back
There you
there.
go.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, he's like, well, yeah, I've noticed we have 2 more. What does it mean? Those are all your moves, yeah. So yeah, the fire thing, you started putting yourself into weirder, more extreme
Well, that's the
matches.
thing. Yeah, like that was probably Jay. I think Jay was the one who did it.
Jay and Mike wanted to go have a fire box match in
Like
the
with-
forest preserve.
and barbed wire, like,
and it was
you
the
know,
middle of winter. So it was like, we were like, I want to give shout outs to the backyard wrestlers who were the crazy motherfuckers where I'd send away for the VHS tape and get it, and they're like, fucking fluorescent bulb,
Yeah.
like, nah, and they made their own rings, and they're like,
That's not us.
fire, and they're in like tank tops, like, we're gonna go wrestle in the forest preserve. It's gonna be a box match, and so it's going to be, we're all in winter clothes getting thrown around through firebox, except Poe, who was like, I'm gonna wear my t-shirt, and like, you had a long sleeve shirt underneath it,
Yeah.
but sure enough, you came up. And it was one of the, like, I'm sure there's more times in my head, Tim. It's one of the few times character was ever really broken, where Jay and Mike power bombed Poe onto the box, and Poe just laid in the flaming box. And Jay goes, Jesus, move! You know what I mean? And Poe then rolled out. I don't think that's the time you got burned.
Well, I was disoriented, and what happened was, yeah, I was in he power bombed me, so I went up, and I kind of like lost where I was, and I went down, and then I think just the shirt rolled up on me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I got, like a little flame kiss right
Yeah,
there.
I know. It's like the tiniest of burns.
Just
But
like,
like,
it's fine. Like, what was
I think Cuddles hurt you more than the fireboxes
yeah.
ever did.
Cuddles?
My cat.
Greg's cat is like, I loved Cuddles. Cuddles was
Nick
awesome.
is missing the gold right now. Cuddles the fucking cat.
Nice gray cat came up. I'm like, I like this cat. And the other, Gizmo's got some energy. Everyone loves Gizmo. I like Cuddles here, and
It
comes
was
up.
like sleepover. It was like
Yeah.
all lights are off.
Yeah, comes up on top of me, and I'm just like, oh, Cuddles want to sleep. It's like, that's gonna be nice, And all of a sudden, like, Cuddles is trying to get comfortable and starts going like this and starts like, grabbing my skin. I'm like, and I'm like, Greg, I'm getting clawed here, and Greg's like, doesn't have claws. I'm like, something's clawing me, Greg. Something's clawing me, and just like when she does that back claws, I'm like, that's what it is. Just cut me up right here.
And for years in this friendship, I hear about this fucking scar he had from Cuddles
Yeah.
the cat.
Still
Cuddles
do.
the goddamn cat.
Cuddles the
dude.
cat, the blind cat who had the thumbs. She had mitten paws, but no claws in her front paws. Claws in her back paws.
Yeah.
But you're nonchalant. She doesn't have claws, but that's what
Well,
got
you
me.
made it sound like she was making biscuits. You know what I mean? Like, I thought biscuits, you're going to be fine. I didn't know she was somehow fucking laying on her side, scratching you with her. She fucking had a feeling about you.
Oh my god. So wait, barbed wire matches.
Well, I never got to that for us, but it was still like, that-
Thumbtacks and fire were as far as we
Yeah.
ever went. In Thumbtacks, again, I pulled out, and I was such a pussy about it, where I had like a piece of cardboard on my
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to
Those
do
are the
it.
things attached
Didn't even
to it.
stick. It totally didn't work. It was stupid. Injuries, though, for backyard wrestling.
Remember
Yeah,
Coffee Can?
there was you with the. We should never have brought metal cans into it. So he with the running and the trash can that hurt real bad, knocked the wind out of him. Sure.
Nick, you just missed the story of Greg's cat named Cuddles
Yeah. Okay.
that injured Poe.
Clawed him bad.
Start him.
Scarred him.
That Poe.
Noonan
terrible.
is we used to wrestle, and again, we didn't know what we're doing, so we knew baking sheets made a good sound when you hit each other in the head with baking sheets. So we had a whole bunch of baking sheets, great. And then we knew coffee cans made a funny thunk sound, right? And I'm talking like old school Folgers cans, not like the plastic shit they have now. Like again, metal. They made a funny noise, great. And so that had made it into the repertoire. And again, I think it was Noonan's first day. He came to do his first BYWF.
And we'd have a shopping cart full of this stuff since you've heard how we acquired the
Yeah, of course, yeah. And so you'd roll out all these weapons and yada yada yada. And somebody hit him, somebody with the thing and threw it down. And then somebody decided to belly suplex.
I did that. That was
you
me.
did?
Yep. Noonan's first day, too. Just
Belly to
like-
belly suplex Noonan, which is basically just a slow motion throw because we're not like doing hardcore moves. But it was turn and throw blindly, and it turned out that it just so happened that the coffee can was upside that way, hard side top. And so Noonan fell and caught it right at the
lower
base
back
of his
level?
spine.
Yep.
Right at the base of his spine. And so
Paralyzed.
it was the exact same thing of he went down and it was serious and the camera pans to him on the shopping cart and then their body weight rolled across my forearm, but it was on the edge of the shopping cart. So it bent all the way and I was like, oh my God, it's about to. And it came back and didn't. And I was like, just dodged a bullet. That was big.
Big Greg move I loved during one of our pay-per-views that we were playing Jump Around, and everyone came out just dancing, going crazy. He grabs what would look on TV to look like a brick. And
It wasn't. It was a foam brick.
It was a foam brick, and just starts bashing his head in front of the.
We're all going
camera,
crazy. Let's jump around.
staring at the camera, just bashing his head in.
Gruesome Greggy, he had some quirks, you know what I
Now,
mean?
follow-up question to this.
Yeah.
Did you show this to other people, like the girls? Did the girls ever see this?
The other group girls know. I had a girl, I dated a girl for a hot second who came over and watched it. And this isn't the
Live.
reason. This isn't not live. Jesus Christ, no. You watch the tape later on. You want to see the camera angles and everything.
Yeah,
we're
you
doing,
can't. You gotta see what's in lens, as they say.
There was one time me and Poe, we decided to have because again, the house is off limits, you know what I mean? But I forget where my parents were. They were out of town for like a weekend or whatever. And we decided we're going to have a match that sprawls the entire house.
That's good.
So me and Poe did that. And that we actually set shit up and like he full on hit me in the back with a pool cue at my request. You know what I mean? But like unabashed, like whack. You know what I mean?
You guys are fucking insane.
And then he
That
jumped.
could have killed him.
He jumped from the top of my stairs onto the landing on top of me, and then we rolled down the stairs.
Yeah,
That was
then we
good
just
stuff.
like it just kind of naturally worked out where we just kind of fell down the stairs together,
like the fucking
and there's
idiot.
concrete at the bottom.
The fucking idiots we were when we brawled out back. It was like originally we were talking about jumping off the roof of the house, and I was like, that's too far. Instead, I was like, I'm gonna powerbomb you onto this card table, expecting it to break like WWE tables. But these card tables they're perfect squares. So like weights, and it's just me slamming Poe onto a table and the table not going anywhere.
I love that look though. I had this really cut ab look at
Yeah,
that
you do
point. I'm
look
like,
that.
yeah, I got something
And
going
again,
on here.
of course, because like this is how we knew this was gonna be a big match. You've actually seen these photos probably then.
Probably.
This is gonna be a big match where we had a friend walking. Now somebody's videotaping and somebody else is walking with a wind-up camera taking photos. So it's like chink, rinka, 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 rinka.
Yeah.
Chink, rinka, rinka,
Naturally.
rinka, rinka. Yeah.
He made me a best of Poe VHS, and I brought it to college with me, and then my friends who were drinking found it and threw that in. And I came back like an hour or two later. They're like, "This is amazing!" I'm like, "Oh man!"
It was dumb shit, but it worked so well. Like we had a friend that Jay went to school with that loved wrestling that Jay would share the tapes with, and then in this weird fucking universe, he would review them and send back printed out pages of like what he thought of everything. But he would write it as if you were writing it now for a blog or a YouTube script, right? Of all the shit that was happening.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
My God.
The only other serious injury I'm thinking of was when, again, I crossed the line. And
Shocking.
We were giving Poe shit about something, but the cameras were on, of course. So then I was being a complete asshole, as I very much was. And I think I opened your dad's car and put leaves in it, which was bad enough. And then I took out like your umbrella and his cell phone or something, and I was acting like I was you. And again, Poe was like, all right, I'm done with this shit, and went over and threw me on the ground, and then accidentally fell on my face. And like I came up, and it's all on tape. And I come up like the Undertaker, and it's just like blood pours out of my nose or whatever. And then it went back to being like, "Oh God, are you okay?" And like we got to cut the camera.
Yeah, but then that's when you went inside, right?
Yeah, we
And
cut a promo.
And
We
then,
used it as
and
a
then your
promo.
mom came down. Who hurt Mike Greger?
Oh no, that was a different one.
Oh, that different one.
One time
Okay.
I faked getting my teeth knocked out. I only told I was playing Michael. It was me and Mike in a ladder match, and only told Mike that I was going to do and the cameraman. I guess they didn't cut. And so yeah, I came out and I had fake blood in my mouth the entire time, and then like ran up there. Mike pushed me over, and I act like I hit the tree, and I spit blood all over the tree and came down. And I had blood over my face, and then my mom came out. And somebody's like, "Get his mom!" My mom came out. She's like, "Who did this?" And I forget who it was, but somebody immediately dimed out Mike and pointed at Mike. And then they took me in, and then Mike was like, "All like, I'm gonna get the belt," and I came running back like Mick Foley. That was the tack match too. We lived a life, man.
You
We
lived
lived a
a
life.
fucking life.
Where can people see these videos? By people, I mean, where can I see these videos?
This is my favorite part of this, is that I was telling these stories to Jen one night over drinks at the house. And she's like, "Oh my God, I would love it. Do these tapes still exist?" And I'm like, "Yeah, babe, that giant blue thing in the other room is all these tapes. Like I have everything. You know, I just don't have the VCR.
I got a VCR, don't
We gotta
You
have
gotta digitize them for real,
gotta
but not
digitize them
share
and-
them. Because
Oh,
there are
no,
so
they're
many levels of
going out.
NDA. And again, we're stupid kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is literally like, you want to talk about, when I went to college, I used to say gay and stuff. And I'm like, learn from my experience. Don't do that. That's, I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah, you're a dumb kid's probably throwing all
God, I
sorts
can
of slurs.
only imagine the fucking
horrible
language
things
and the
being
things
said.
we're saying about people.
So here's what I'm saying. We do a couple tests of these just internally. This would be a great project for Cool Greg, who loves wrestling.
Cool Greg
And
will
we-
just stream it.
And we can bleep out all the parts that are bad.
Okay.
And put like, the black like line over everything that's bad necessarily, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
see where we net out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get, like, it's going to be a 3-hour long video. It's just, yeah. Everything's
might-
blacked out. Oh, and then, yeah, another guy dislocated his hip. He jumped off the roof of his van. Remember this? And like he had a box set up, but the box was so flimsy.
How
it
many
didn't.
people were a part of this?
Holy crap. it started small, but we brought people in. That was the
Yeah,
best
more
part.
people. The more people heard about it, the more people wanted to come and be a part of it.
It's like Fight Club, but without the actual fighting, but you still get really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, if we had every person active, you probably like 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a decent roster.
Most of the guys I used to go see at APW or New Japan Wrestling now. Like a good 4 or 5 of them. Like, man, you guys came up.
You think we got a shot?
Us?
No, me and Poe. You don't have any history. You don't have any. You know what I mean? Come on. I just told you war
I
stories.
got a
sir.
reel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No,
I don't think you got a shot.
Poe, let me ask you this question. We know that Greg has been Greg in some form of what you see here since he was 1.
Yep.
You said you had abs and played football. Was it ever a thought like, hey, I should pursue this to some degree professionally or semi-professionally?
No, I mean football definitely not. But I was a runner, so I ran in high school and college, and
But never wrestling. You never thought maybe I'll actually fuck around with wrestling and see if I
absolutely
can.
not. Because like they're like Mike in our group was the best at like taking falls, and he could contort his body in ways to make things look real good.
did a moonsault for real.
Wow.
Onto a person. We were like, what the fuck, dude?
So like when you see that,
Was
it's
the
just like
person
I
surprised?
can't do this. Like if you watch the tape, like my finishing move, like it's just slow motion, like I'm trying to get my feet up in the air and turn around, and it's just awful. It's just so bad. So yeah, never crossed my mind as something that I would actually pursue.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because I'm still holding out for a hero that Greg will make it to the WWE one of these days.
I thought about it, man. I'll tell you what. You're watching these tapes, you're seeing this stuff. You're like, I got it. I can do this.
Maybe it's
because
like-
I was great at cutting a promo. The rest you
still
can
are.
learn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then you can you could be the Undertaker's liaison.
Oh, Paul
or whatever.
Bear, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
be Paul Bear. I can tee you in that role pretty
Exactly. I agree.
Laughing, going crazy.
It could have been it.
Sounds like you.
Yeah. And that was the thing, is it was always the fun, let's bleed the lines between reality and the fiction. Where I remember our first match Poe and I ever did, not the garbage can match, but in the same pay-per-view. That wasn't pay-per-view, just episode. Poe claimed, and I'm not sure if he still claims this, claimed to be allergic to cinnamon.
I do not.
Okay. But in reality, just didn't like
Just didn't
cinnamon.
like
Just didn't like the taste. So we agreed that I would win the match or whatever, but I didn't tell him that I had a baggie of cinnamon in my pocket. At which point I did pin him down and try to force feed him cinnamon in this match.
Which I had told him that if that ever happened, I would throw up immediately.
And I told
which
him,
I didn't.
no, you won't, because you're not really allergic to cinnamon.
So you were just trying to help a friend out.
Exactly.
Get over his phobia.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like how Tim says he's allergic to some people touching him, so we all touch him all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to see, like, you brought it up somewhere where there's a picture of your, like, first communion with his big grin or whatever. That was the best promo I ever did for WWE. Was like, I'm not, Greg's smart and quick, and he can come up with these things. I don't usually have really good things to say with it. But all of a sudden, I just look at him like, oh, you better be praying. Like, and
He was like doing the whole thing. Oh, I'm gonna kill Greg. I'm gonna tear him apart. Blah, blah. And he's cutting this in front of my first communion phone. He turns to it. Oh, you better be praying.
I want to see these.
and he's got the creepiest smile.
Oh no, they've seen the first communion thing. It's actually an IGN still white elephant gift exchange thing where it gets it's every year it gets cycled. I wrote hang in there and autographed it.
Other question I've always wondered, and I think I asked you this one time, Greg, but the federation, the organized group that you guys formed was called the Backyard Wrestling Federation, and the letters for which are BYWF. Is backyard spelled differently in Chicago than it is in the rest of the world?
I leave all the belt questions to Greg. You put it together.
I'll take this one. It just sounded better than BWF. And you want to know something incredibly scary.
I do.
Are we living in a simulation? Who knows? We, too dumb to figure out how to put our tapes online. Another group, not. And they were BYWF.com. And I went and watched their videos once. We'd been going for a long time, independent of each other. They had a character on there named Mr. Roboto that we also had. And it was like, so like, are we all the same fucking group of kids that are just like, let's wrestle and we'll do this. And like, we all have the basic idea and we're like, well, no reason to workshop it. Good enough. Roll.
Mr. Roboto.
Mr. Roboto's a thing.
Is that
all of a
site
sudden.
still up? Are they still doing stuff?
I don't know. I have no idea. BYWF.
I just remember looking
crazy.
at those and being like, we are nowhere near this level. You
Well, they
know?
had like rings and shit, right? That was their
Well,
whole
yeah,
thing.
that rings and just
Talent.
and talent.
Yeah. We just had so much fun. Nobody was better at entertaining ourselves than we were, though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That was the
yeah.
big thing.
You're having fun.
But as soon as it's
Yeah.
over, you just go running inside. Plug it in.
No,
Let's
yeah,
watch,
totally.
let's
Yeah,
watch.
exactly. Because it felt so cool to you to be a part of it.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? But then, like, did it play? And it played, man.
Well, I
I'll
love
tell
that you
what.
refer to them as pay-per-views.
Well, that was our thing. Every fourth, what do we call them? There was a name for the one. Jacked. BYWF Jacked was because there was a WWF Jacked. Terrible, like Saturday night garbage show. And we're like, we'll call ourselves that. Every fourth one of those was going to be a pay-per-view. So you had Y2 Chaos. You had Y2 Chaos in 1 later on. You had Groundhog Day's Massacre. We were just ripping off WWE pay-per-views.
Okay.
I think we.
Cool Greg, you got the Cool Greg with that one.
I think we had
giggling
October
over
to
there.
remember.
The fake blood we had, and then it would just be all over the white snow. This
That
like the
looks
match
good.
before, it looked really cool.
The worst part. Gula had never beaten me, right, in any of his renditions. Then Poe came around and Poe beat me all the time. We did for one. I think our final real pay-per-view, we brought Gula back for one more match where he was gonna beat the shit out of me, and he did. And like we were using fake blood. It was just corn syrup and food coloring, but it looked really good on camera, right? The problem was that I think this is Y2 Chaos in 1, so this is January 2001, right?
Y2 Chaos.
Y2 Chaos was such a great name, we couldn't not use Y2 Chaos in 1.
Of course,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And the problem
years in a
there
row,
was it
apparently.
was so cold, and we wanted me to be so bloody that it literally froze over my eyes. Where like I couldn't see at certain points in this match, where I just couldn't get anything together or whatever. Match is still great. Tore the house down, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking 5 stars.
Yeah.
Jay's friend for sure said that. It was great. You know what I mean? Yeah, big part.
the
Big part.
review.
And like this is the thing though, right? Of like there'd be these battles, and it would be, especially as the roster got deeper, you know, it didn't make any sense. You know, we would have different personas really while we were like commentating and filming. Commentated while you filmed. There'd be an announcer team that walked around with the camera doing it. But then you'd have these matches where me and Poe are in the backyard doing whatever, and then you'd look up on the porch and it'd be all the wrestlers up there with like hot cocoa for my mom, like watching everybody beat the shit out of each
Yeah,
other.
naturally. I mean, this does sound like a blast, minus all
yeah.
the contusions.
Oh, there's so much good. Well, that was the thing
and
is like
broken bones.
honestly, knock on wood. Now that we're still doing it, like nobody got seriously injured.
Yes.
we never broke any bones. We never we were because we did care about each other, and we were out to not make the closest we ever got to really getting hurt was Camps that one time.
Yeah. I don't remember what happened with that.
Oh, where
one.
we pissed him off.
Oh, yes.
We had one friend, John Campione.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say his whole name, but he's a
Well, you
doctor.
did
You
now.
can find him on Instagram, Rock Tape.
Wow.
He's got a seminar in Florida coming up.
Go
pretty
see
soon.
him.
Go
Oh my
see it.
God, go there with the BYWF.
That you
Anyways.
guys are fucking terrible friends. You're terrible friends.
John's an amazing guy, and he loves wrestling to this day. Camps, however, was, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to say at the time, and I'm not him, he's so, Camps at the time was the one guy who were like, holy shit, you're in super great shape. You watch MMA for real. You watch wrestling. Like you are jacked. Like you are the real fucking deal. But part of that came with his respect for wrestling not matching up with our respect for wrestling of what BYWF was. So he wanted to be the champ so fucking badly. You know what I mean? So goddamn badly. This belt that didn't matter. You know,
Who decided who was the champ?
me and Jay and Mike.
Okay.
You'd have a conversation. Like, that'd be interesting. Let's do that. You know what I mean?
okay.
So finally,
So you've known Greg for a while now. Where do you think he's taking this?
where did he go? Where's the story go?
No, I don't know. I don't.
Tim, you got anything?
I have no idea.
So Camps wanted it so badly that Mike was the champion. And so I had been feuding with Mike, and the whole thing was that I was like Mr. McMahon because like it was my house. We're wrestling in my house, and like my dad's in charge or whatever. And even though he's never on camera, he's about to be. Stick with me. So like the idea was what we told John was, all right, cool. You're gonna win the belt this pay-per-view. It's gonna be great. You're gonna beat Mike. I'm gonna be the guest referee. It's been this whole thing about how I fucking hate him, and we'll do whatever. He's like, all right, great, no problem. Sounds great. In reality, what we wanted to do was recreate the Montreal Screwjob, of course, from
Naturally.
WWE. You know what this is?
No, but I've heard you talk about it.
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. Brett's going to go to the WCW the next day or whatever. Vince wants him to drop the belt to Shawn. Bret Hart's like, I'm not fucking doing that. I'll beat Shawn Michaels and then I'll vacate the title. And Vince is like, okay. And then instead what happens is Shawn Michaels puts on Bret Hart's finishing move, the sharpshooter. And Vince McMahon's like, ring the fucking bell. They ring the bell, act like he tapped. Everything goes to fucking hell. Bret Hart tears apart the announce tables. It spits on Vince McMahon. Eventually punches Vince McMahon. Amazing documentary about this you should follow. But it's like this explosion. And I know this doesn't sell it well because it was that Bret Hart was the guy. He had been with WWF forever, right? And like this was the final thing was WWF being like, fuck you. You know what I mean? And to their credit also, like, fuck you. Like leave the belt. It's all fake. What do you care?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't be a weirdo. Anyways, though, we decide we're gonna Montreal screwjob John Campione for the world title. He wants so bad against him knowing, right? So it's like this match. I've set up the whole thing that I hate Mike and all this different shit, yada yada yada. And so the match is going on. I'm fucking with Mike. I'm interfering. I'm doing all this stuff. And eventually, Mike puts him in the sharpshooter and rolls John over into the sharpshooter. And I go, do you submit? And John very, very audibly goes, no. And I go, he submits, ring the bell. And John's like, no. Like the bell gets rung. They bring Mike the title. And when I say they bring Mike the title, someone runs the title to Mike.
does.
Because we were ready for this to go badly. And sure enough, it does. We all sprint to a car we had waiting. Now, mind you, I live on an acre at the time. That's a long run for two really fat guys and Mike. But we're all running, and John has enough time to, it's all on camera, roll over and go, fuck. And like, it all clicks into place what we've done. And he pops up and chases us full speed. We dive in this car and pull away, and John runs up to the street, and he's just like screaming at us. Right? We pull away, and it's like, wow, what a great bit that was. What a great segment to end that thing. And then we're like, how do we come back? You know what I mean? Like, he's not, like, we drive back up, like, he's not, there's no, the fiction and the reality are one to camps at this point. And so we drive back up, and I roll down the window. I'm in the back seat. I roll down the window on this car, and I'm like, hey, buddy's like, fuck you guys, yada yada. And I'm like, all right, it was just funny. We thought about, and like, everyone's still filming. Everyone is still filming this like train. It's a shit show not even in our yard, my driveway. This is in the street. This is in the street of my neighborhood. And so John's screaming at the car. He's like, get out, you fucking pussies. Yeah. And so in the middle of this, I don't know what you'd be thinking as a human being. In the middle of this, another car comes into the frame and it rolls down the window and it says to John, we're opening a sandwich shop 4 blocks away. Here are some coupons. There's a man in like a fucking fluorescent robe with the camera. There's John in athletic gear. There's 4 petrified teenagers in the car. John takes it from him and like mystified, like, what the fuck are you? The dude drives away. I roll down the window and I'm like, all right, but seriously, John. And John listens, tears it up, throws it in my face, and it's fucking barren wasteland, Chicago, February, I don't know, blows everywhere and back into the grass or whatever.
But you had one piece that like stuck to the window, like
right. And roll back up, and we're like, fuck, he's gonna beat our asses when we get out of this car. And like, what do we? And we're like in there, like, what do we do? Like, do we get out? I don't want to fight him. This is supposed to be funny. What do we do? What are we on? And then it happens. And I'm like, holy shit, guys. It's our saving grace.
Oh, no.
The garage door goes up. My dad gets into his truck and comes out. And I'm like, he's recognized it. Me and my father have had this chasm between us for so long. He doesn't understand the backyard wrestling up the lawn, but he's seen clearly this has gotten out of control and we need an adult. He backs his car out, turns it so he's like nose to nose with the other car, pulls up side again, similar to Sandwich Guy, blocking John and us, rolls down his window. I roll down my window, ready to confess we need help of an adult. And my father says, Gregory, pick up the fucking paper in the yard, and drives away. And I'm like, so I open the car door, shut the car door, walk up to John, start picking up paper out of the yard.
I gotta pick up this paper.
Yeah. And then John just diffused. He was our friend. He's never gonna fight us. But it was like, we got up to that moment of like, fuck, our friend's about to kill us. He is a man. We are boys, and he is gonna rip us
his
limb from
armpit
limb.
hair.
Yeah.
That's clearly before John took the Hippocratic oath. Clearly.
Yeah, of course not. He would never do that now.
That's crazy.
And so that what we did was a make good immediately, where we did like some stupid round robin where he ended up winning the title, like right afterwards.
That's hilarious, though.
I love it.
It was our best and worst moment as BYWF. You know what I mean?
Right, man.
Real quick, Greggy. So
Yeah.
you guys knew back in the day that the whole thing was like staged and fake and everything? With the whole,
Yeah, the Bret Hart stuff, Montreal Screwjob. I think so, because it was like, keep in mind, we're doing this in 2001 through 2004. No, that's not right. No, sorry. 99 through 2001. So like that documentary had already hit. Where like that Bret the Hitman Hart documentary where they just happened to be following him through all that shit.
Well, also by now you guys knew that wrestling was.
Yeah, Attitude Era was already a thing. Attitude Era was already a thing where
and we were putting these story together.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
And
Yeah,
the promos.
Yeah. And that's the life we lived, everybody.
What a life.
In DuPage County.
That was amazing, man.
Thank you.
This is my favorite episode since the 200th episode.
Good. Thank you very much. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic discussion for your amusement. Like that you just held the table. If you like that, go to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can get the post show we're about to record right now as a video, or live if you're watching live. If you don't want to give us any bucks on patreon.com/kindafunny, we totally get it. Head over to youtube.com/kindafunny every Friday. Podcast services every Friday. You get the episode a week later, but you still get it. Until next time. Or do you want to promote anything? Do you want people to follow you, or fuck no?
I'm not really a great follow, so I'm going to go with no.
All right,
if
don't
you
do
find
that.
me, good for you.
Well, they might have put it up. Who knows? I don't know.
Whatever.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Be one guy. One moment, guys.
We're giving Cool Greg one moment.
One moment
Oh, shit.
for the cool Greg.
Oh, shit. he
Hey,
says.
Joey.
I don't like that.
I don't like that
Yeah,
one
this thing's
bit.
weird. So the numbers stopped going up on the record, and now I'm pressing stop, and nothing's happening.
But we started recording on OBS. We had a backup.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
We got to
Well,
redo the
back
whole
up.
thing.
Again.
This is some shit.
No,
It may have run out of space.
Yeah. Is it,
I
no?
don't think it's basically I cleared the drive before we started. Because it's only
Okay.
at 1 hour and 18 where it stopped. Should have about like 3 or more.
Yeah.
But right now it's like I'm pressing stop and it's just still red. It's not even like we're still recording, I guess.
Do you know how that thing works?
I don't. I can take a look at it though.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys go into the
Hey, everybody, if you're still live. Are we live? How'd that go?
Yeah, we should still be live right now.
Can you throw up the chat?
Yeah, sorry.
We're still recording on OBS?
Yeah.
Cool.
Throw the chat
Yeah,
on.
it's definitely still recording.
Oh, a lot of enigmatic.
Yeah, Animatic is the only one talking.
Is Poe rocking a Harry Potter shirt?
No,
I am
then
not.
Corey fixed it.
Yeah. Harry Potter should be awesome, though.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So do they usually run through the time? I mean, like, is usually the chat up during the talk?
No, just pre-show and post-show. We put the
Pre-show.
chat
post-show.
up.
I got you. Cool.
Corey, they finished.
Not recording. It is. I mean, this whole thing
Cuddles the
Cuddles
cat?
the cat.
Nice.
we're at about 2 hours right now.
And ouch.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day Massacre. You guys are hilarious. I just love how committed you guys were.
Oh, man,
And
we were all
also,
over. You kidding me?
I know it's ridiculous, but like you did a lot more pay-per-views than I thought. Like I thought maybe you got a couple done. No, you had.
But the pay-per-view was such a cool moment to have the big, what do you call them, like
Tarps?
Tarps up, yeah.
We
and,
made
like,
an event out of it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
and-
that was the most exciting thing
and
about
then you
it.
could be backstage and you're waiting to go. Otherwise, you're literally standing on Greg's steps at his
Yeah.
front door. Otherwise, like that's not fun. Like being behind there, just waiting as your music's going on. That's pretty awesome.
And it was always that thing is like, we would have these stupid storylines build to it, but it was that we wanted like a giant moment, right? That would make that.
want to turn it off. It's supposed
And that's when those matches. I mean, most of the time the regular matches you would just have like a conversation right beforehand. But like for pay-per-views you get together and
Yeah,
try
you
and figure
plan
out like what do we
something.
want to
Figure
do.
this
Something
out.
big, like okay, you guys are wrestling. We're gonna do
we
this.
have it recorded this, right?
Too bad the stream kept buffering.
Nah, we knew that was happening beforehand. What a surprise! Everything's a disaster.
Mr. Yasmin says, Greg, did you see the news that Zack Snyder was planning to kill Batman and Justice
No, I
League
saw you in the
2?
pre-show saying that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I hang on to the fact of I know that Zack Snyder, whatever you want him to be, you know what I mean? But it would have been interesting to see what his entire DC EU would have been, right? Like how he would have seen it all happen.
I mean, is that related to? Why am I forgetting his name? Who does Batman? Who's usually Batman?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. I
Maybe.
want to do
That
it.
may have been a thing about it, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. So then he dies, and then you just have a new Batman just rise up or something like.
Yeah,
I can do this.
I mean, they could have done a bunch of cool shit with it, right? Of Dick Grayson or whatever.
Right now, we don't lose anything by leaving it in and just risking it work, right?
Well, at
I
some
love-
point you got to stop it.
We should do that at the end of it.
How many weddings you got left, Tim?
If we do it now, then
Mr. Yasmin says, how many
There's
weddings do I
confusion
have left? Just one this year. This one I'm about to do in Bali.
Here's my next
I'm
question.
done.
I'm coming over there.
Gia has a couple though.
What was your guys' biggest wrestling inspiration then? I mean, Greg was always into wrestling. I never even watched it until he ended up being like, "We're gonna watch this." Like, so I sat there and I watched it with him, and I kind of got into it. I like the guys like the Big Show. Obviously, he showed me like Mick Foley and like Hell in the Cell and Undertaker. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I love the entrances more than like the action.
Yeah.
You know, like how they're coming in and what they're doing instead of like I don't know what some of these punches or whatever you're going at. I don't know why this is cool. But all right.
I love the production of it all.
I mean, it was really cool when I think they finally were just like, we're fake. We're officially fake.
Yeah.
And like, we're
gonna have fun with this.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool.
No, it was awesome. Enigmatic Sister, guys, with the end of Spider-Man review in sight, is there any chance of DCEU in review coming up next? We were going to, but we decided that we're going to take a break with in review for at least the rest of the year. Because originally it was supposed to be a seasonal show. And we just kept doing it back to back to back, which was great. And we're having a great time, and we love the show. But it's a lot. So I think we're going to think about what we're doing next.
How many films would that be?
For DCEU in review, it would be Man of Steel, then
Batman v Superman.
Wonder Woman,
Suicide Squad,
and Justice League.
Yeah.
And then Aquaman eventually.
So 5 and then 6.
Yeah. Mr. Yasman asked when Kevin's going to return. He's coming back on Wednesday.
Still so far away, you know.
Joe Merton says, I may have to watch this again Friday. Damn you, Comcast. Hey, man, the podcast is always better the second time around.
Second time.
I've always said that.
Yeah, I've always said that.
This was a good one, though. It
was
was
good.
fun. It was a fun stroll down memory lane.
Oh, and Greggy.
Yeah.
Can I show you guys a video? It came up on my Twitter feed earlier today.
Sure.
Remind me of your whole conversation.
Okay.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, man.
So, they're in cowboy boots.
You got this.
It's good, but it's not a bad one.
Okay. Okay.
It's not that bad of a jump.
Look at his
I'd
jersey.
make that jump.
Oh, fuck me. That's awesome. That is
Like, I
lit.
thought just
That
a
is
jump.
lit.
I'd make that jump. No big deal. Oh,
Wait, roll that back again? I want to see that jump. How did
and
he
you see how their
land?
card table broke, Greg?
Fucking doing a DD diamond cutter through the goddamn table off a second story if you're an audio listener.
It looked like he was not ready for it.
Yeah.
It worked perfect still.
Yeah. It was like he was getting him in the mood, but like he did not give him a look like it's coming. He just
Yeah,
kind of
no,
grabbed
it
him
just
and went.
Well,
Hey, man, somebody's got to.
I think once you get out onto the banister, like the outside of the balcony,
You're there,
you're
it's happening.
consenting to whatever's
I'm
going on.
aware. I'm aware. But it was still like, maybe Greg gave me a look beforehand, like give me a nod or something. That just seemed like, boom.
Yeah.
He kind of sprung that
out of
out.
nowhere.
What's an RKO?
That's the thing. I'm so old school. I call all of those diamond cutters, but I guess their RKO is more popular now.
What's an RKO? Is that what
It's a
it is?
Randy
the move
Orton.
you just
It's
did, right?
it's Randy Orton's finisher.
And like, he does it out of nowhere.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
what
that
makes
was
it
an
like
RKO.
a surprise RKO.
I got so much shit back in the day at IGN when maybe it was actually us. I think it might have been us for Arkham Knight where I put up a video and I was like, did Batman just do a diamond cutter? And everybody was like, that's a fucking RKO out of nowhere, idiot. And I was like, fuck yeah, that is the meme. That's probably what they're
Yeah,
referencing
RKO,
right now.
man.
That's probably what they're doing.
The Legend Killer, dude. What a great fucking gimmick for Randy Orton.
Oh my god, yeah, you kidding
So
me?
good.
The Viper.
This young kid, Nick, they had a stable, the Evolution, with Triple H was the head of it. But then they had Batista that was like the muscle.
Ric Flair.
And then they had Ric Flair, which was like the past. And it was like supposed to be past, present, future.
Sure.
So Ric Flair was the past, Triple H was the present, Randy Orton was the future. He was this young kid, super cut, and his gimmick was he was the Legend Killer. And all of his matches would build up to, all his big pay-per-view matches would be him against like legends.
Wow, that's cool.
And would just systematically be taking him down. And then it all built up to WrestleMania 21, I want to say, where it was him versus Undertaker. And it was like, oh shit, they're going to fucking do it. They're going to end the goddamn streak by having the Legend.
And they were
Killer
like, no, we
kill the
won't.
Undertaker. And
We'll
they
ruin it
did
later
it.
on with Brock Lesnar.
And it was like, oh
So he
my
didn't
God.
beat the Undertaker?
No.
And it was awesome because everyone expected him to. And because that would have been so convenient storyline wise, but they didn't do it. And then they fucked everything up later.
Corey Gooden says, it's a stunner, isn't it? No, a stunner would end in a sit-down position.
Yeah.
RKO / diamond cutter, you both end, well, one ends on the belly, one ends on the back. So now you
Which
know
one
something.
ends on the belly?
Well,
Diamond
if you're taking the diamond cutter, you're on your belly.
Okay.
If you're giving the diamond cutter, you're on your back.
Got it.
I want you to pull these moves out, all right?
No, I'm going to say I stun you sometimes.
You stun me all the
I do
time,
do a
buddy.
Stone
I
Cold
love
Stunner.
you. I love you.
Did that Mick Foley referee for Hell in the Cell happen already? No, it came up. Have you
Cool,
seen
Greg,
this?
did that happen yet? Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell referee?
I just thought it was cool when he was kind of promoting it and talking about it. Like,
Well, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view just happened.
That
Probably
must
did,
happen,
yeah.
yeah. Man, wrestling. It was
fun.
great, right? It was great.
I don't even like wrestling that much, and you guys were very entertaining today. So
Well,
that was
I'll
fun.
give you all the tapes. You can do what you want
I'd
with them.
love to. I'd love to edit them down to like edit what you wanted them to be and try to get them as close
Like
to
have
that.
like graphics packages.
Yeah, like, wow, and like
Fabulous
have it be-
Gula versus gruesome Greggy.
have it be just really fucking high value production, and then it cuts to the 4:3
Yeah,
shitty shot. That'd be so fun.
Dude, I remember what a game changer it was when I got the second camera, because we were originally filming with the shitty ass handheld camera like this that we had, and then for Christmas one year I got the camcorder that had the screen over here. Remember those
Yeah.
things? You held
Hell
like
yeah.
this, and when we'd want to wrestle in the rain or the snow, we'd put it in a plastic bag.
Mr. Yazman 300 Kane did run for public office, right?
I think he won.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee.
How many ex wrestlers do you think became public office? Like,
Oh well, I
We
guess
got two
Ventura.
now,
Yeah,
'cause
Ventura.
Jesse Ventura was one, right?
And they'll tell you that he wrecked that place
Rhino
pretty
ran
good.
for stuff. I don't think he ever won.
Rhino.
Rhino was the fucking man. The gore. Jesus, in ECW, what a madman. You remember when
What
he
a
fucked up Sandman's
madman.
wife? Jesus, that was a great gimmick.
Wrestling is so special.
Pile driver off that ring apron through a table. You kidding me?
I miss Super Crazy.
Oh my God, super crazy. Don't even
Adam
start.
Love says, "Have you seen James from Funhouse wrestle?"
No, we don't like him.
Only in the documentary.
Yeah.
stuff
No, I'm
they
sorry, in the
did.
documentary.
I've never seen it IRL.
They're good.
Mr. Yes Man 300. Remember when Best Friends sent photoshops of Lee Harvey Oswald with you guys in it?
Yeah.
I do.
We've done
I made
so
a
much.
request.
My mom hated that.
I got.
she was
a
real mad. She was
very-
real mad.
She still talks.
I got
about it.
I got a message from your mom. That was one of those
Yeah.
few like I gotta tell you, Nick, this was not good. And I was like, Ann, I love you to death. That was Greg's joke.
Yeah.
I just pointed right at Greg and said, go to Greg.
The
That
things
was
that make
Greg's
her
problem.
mad, I'll never. There's no like rhyme or reason because it's like I do such horrible shit on this all the time. But then
You're
every
her
once in a
baby
while-
boy. You're her angel, though. You can't do any wrong. Me, on the other hand, I'm clearly the devil of kind of funny.
Enigmatic says RVG versus Jerry Lynn matches were incredible. That is 100% correct. They were the best wrestling matches I ever saw, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw.
On tape. I never saw them in live. I went to the Anarchy Rules, the final ECW pay-per-view, right? Where Sinister Minister blew his hand apart. That's my claim to fame.
Didn't you also get beer from
Yeah.
Sandman
Yeah,
in the audience?
Sandman pushed me. I don't think he actually fed me the beer.
Okay.
He pushed me. Similar, and so Taz pushed me as well. When a lot of people said he was about to win the hardcore title in Chicago, but then everybody got too crazy. But nobody really proved that. But he did definitely push me.
I went to middle school with Rikishi's nephew,
Nice.
D'Angelo. He was a nice boy.
Yeah.
Rikishi was funny.
Did you meet Rikishi?
Never.
No. Okay.
No.
What if he came in?
Rikishi. Are you familiar with Rikishi?
Is the one that used to sit on people's faces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, he shoved their faces into his ass.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I would think like Yokozuna sat on your chest. Like that was Yokozuna's move,
Yeah.
right? Rikishi
It was more of a.
shoved his. What did he call it?
I don't remember. What was Rikishi's
Cool, Greg.
move?
Yeah, when Rikishi shoved his ass in your face, what do they call that? Ass face.
Well,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Sometimes it's the simplest answer.
aptly named.
I'll be wrong. Might be stink face. But
Stink face probably makes more
stink
sense.
face.
Stink make more sense. Yeah. Huh. You learned something today, everybody.
There you go.
How we looking?
Let's go.
Well,
It's late. We
That's
stayed
good for
late
the
today
post
anyway.
show, but we got to. Did you call Kevin by any chance? Do we know?
he said it's ugly.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, we're going to go fix all the problems back there. The people watching on YouTube, they might just get an audio file with images over it. It'll be fine. Everybody be chill. Don't worry. Just chillax. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.